Hey everybody, welcome to Reaction Shots for July 2025. We, this month, are talking about Scorsese versus superheroes.
I love it in 2025, reviving it. Old wounds. Yeah. Tearing open old wounds. Yep. Ripping them open.
Everything you say on the internet lasts forever.
Yeah, because he said this in what, like 2019 or something?
Yeah.
Like pre-everything, like pre-Panini and everything.
He's over it. He's going to see this and be like, fuck, I have to respond again?
Yeah, I mean, we're taking it pretty tongue-in-cheek, and I don't think he ever really meant it, like, as overblown as it was taken, but who knows?
Oh, he wrote a whole New York Times essay about it after his comments.
Really?
He wrote a serious ass essay that's quite good. I'm gonna come down hard on this. I take it serious.
We're taking it tongue in cheek, but that said, we will declare a winner at the end of this episode.
We're gonna tally up the votes in the comments.
We're gonna do the math. Yeah, we will give our own opinions, and we will consider the opinions of those who wrote in, and then we will decide a definitive winner. One man,
and then the
versus
debate
the
never
entire...
has to happen again.
Yeah.
On the internet. Yeah, we'll solve it.
One man versus the entire superhero movie apparatus. Two will enter, one will fall. We are, of course, I'm Isla Hink. That is Michael Huber.
Greetings.
And that is Matthew Walden.
Matthew Walden. Yeah.
Matthew Walden.
Matthew.
What's the word hue mean? Hue?
Hue is like a color thing.
Hue is Hugh Jackman.
There's also H-E-W though, right?
H-E double hockey sticks.
Hue close to this.
Oh, yeah.
You better hue close to the line.
It reminds me of like weft and pitch and yaw.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Seafaring terms.
The leeward side. Stick to the leeward side. The moss grows on the leeward side of the rocks. Anyway.
I always think of Joe Pesci in Lethal Weapon 4 when he's on the boat and he doesn't know like any nautical terms. It's so funny.
He's great in the Lethal Weapon
movies. He's so funny.
My favorite moment that my friend turned me on to from those is in Lethal Weapon 3 when he gets mad at the drive-thru and they give him the wrong order.
Fuck you in the drive-thru.
They fuck you in the drive-thru.
So
they
legendary.
know you're not coming back, and so they fuck you.
So funny.
Yes. So we will be discussing that. But before we discuss that, we will talk about what we watched and liked lately. I'm gonna go first this time because I never go
Please
first.
do.
And also, I watched an interesting one. I watched the Benson and Moorhead joint Resolution.
Nice.
Which is sort of
that's their first one. I
think it's their first one. Yeah. It's
What is this? I have no context for this.
Okay,
you're gonna have to tell me.
Do you know Benson and Moorhead? No. Okay, they're like.
They sound like carpenters.
This is crazy.
Whoa, you don't?
They're like low budge sci-fi indie darlings that.
Oh, okay. I've heard you mention this. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've actually directed, I think, some like Disney
Loki.
MCU, TV stuff like Loki, and stuff. So
okay,
they've had a bit of
Loki's
a glow
great.
up.
Yeah.
But they started in like extremely low budget. Not extremely
like primer style stuff.
Primer style, yeah. Except hopefully more chill people. But like so Resolution is about this guy, kind of like, I don't know. He's like a kind of a hoity-toity, just kind of a normal guy, whatever. But he goes to see his friend, who's in rural California or whatever, squatting in a shack because he's a drug addict, and he has decided to handcuff him to a pipe in this shack until he's clean. But then, things start getting weird, and it's meta and it's interesting and it's weird. Like I have a soft spot for high concept, low budget sci-fi, as we all know, coherence, everything.
How could you not? Yeah,
I love them, and like I really liked this one. I like The Endless more, which is the one they did after this one, or maybe two after. but
I think it was 2 after.
Yeah, because there's another one called Spring that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
But The Endless actually loosely ties into this one because like there's a mobile home or the shack or whatever appears in that movie.
When that happened, it was insane.
And because I saw The Endless first, so I'm watching this one to be like, oh, that's the thing from Endless, but it's like backwards because it's like you're supposed to be like, that's the thing from Resolution. But yeah, it was fun. I liked it.
I need to watch these because they sound so cool, and they sound exactly like the thing I would like.
Yeah,
like I love.
Yeah, you would love
I love
them.
things that execute on cool ideas within small constraints. Like Beyond the Infinite 2 Minutes is an amazing Japanese, like very tiny $50,000 budget movie.
I gotta see that.
Where they travel in time in a loop of 2 minutes, and they film it in a very small apartment complex, and they loop in like holding their iPad up as a frame of reference, and they film that. It gets very complex very quickly.
I need to see that.
But it
That's
sounds
amazing.
like, the way you've described these films, where it's a lot of conversation that uses imagination to quickly draw the viewer in.
Yeah, and like they actually did one during the pandemic, the name of which I don't currently recall, but it was sort of like an eldritch horror thing just in an apartment. And like at the end of it, it says like, this is dedicated to making movies with your friends. Like they have like our mentality of just like, fuck it, let's just go make a movie. Like, which is like I love that. And, yeah, so I love it. I really liked it. I mean, like there are a couple of, like you said, it's conversation driven, and there are a couple of kind of leaps of logic that one of the characters takes where you're like, I'm not sure how we landed on that, but I get that that's kind of the story. So like, okay, sure. Like, he kind of assumes like, oh, well, we have to do this and it doesn't want me to do this. And I'm like, how do you know that? But okay, whatever. But yeah, otherwise I loved it. The ending, it's one of those movies where like while you're watching it, you're like, yeah, this is okay. And then the ending is like, okay, like, yeah, it lands the plane. Then I saw Superman and Fantastic Four, which I'm sure we'll all talk about. I went into Superman with I don't even, like, not even like zero, like no expectations, like not high or low. I was kind of uninterested. I've never really cared about Superman. And I fucking loved it, man.
Same.
Like I loved it.
It's good. Yeah, it's good. It's really fun.
And like it was a breath of fresh air because it's a hopeful movie. It's just a movie about hope. Yeah. And like the meme went around where it's like a movie that dares to ask the question, what if a man was nice? And I was like, I mean, but yeah, what if though? Like it was really nice. A powerful man. What if a powerful man were nice? I really loved it. Conversely, I actually seem to be in a minority here. I thought Fantastic Four was like just okay. I really, really liked the first half, and then once the story kicked in, I kind of was like, all right, like, I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was bad. I really loved the set and like setting and like the kind of like 828 or whatever. Earth is like the 60s kind of retro future vibe. I loved all that. I think the casting is incredible. I thought they didn't really give Pedro enough to do, but and like they didn't really use any of powers very much, but like, I thought it was okay, not great, I guess. Like, yeah, decent. I was hoping for more. I think my expectations are a little higher. But
I really like Galactus.
He
was fucking good.
I thought he was kind of a joke. Like,
oh, I loved it.
Well, it was funny because they were like mild spoilers, but this is sort of in the trailers. But like, they were like, he's not a person, he's a force of nature, right? Because he's supposed to be like this ageless part of the universe or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they were like, he doesn't want. He's just a force. But then like later he has a line where he's like, I need the thing. Give me the thing. I won't say what, but like they're like, give me the thing. And it's like, that's a want. Like you're stating a want. Like, yeah. But yeah, like I want this thing for this reason. Like, I'm like, that's a want, Charles. But anyway, I mean, whatever. It's fine. Characters should have wants, but.
Yeah.
Since we're somewhat on the subject of Superman, Huber, I know you and I have constantly discussed how much we like Nick Holt.
Yes,
What was your
dude.
take on his Lex
10 out of
Luthor?
10.
10 out of 10.
Dude.
The best, like, not to disparage Gene
Fucking
Hackman,
amazing.
but the best Lex Luthor I think I've ever seen.
Was
Okay, that's interesting because I was a
so
little
good.
disappointed, even though I love Nick Holt. And the reason for me probably is because I've talked so much about that show, The Great, where he plays Peter the Great.
Yeah.
And he's the comic relief on that show. And for me, I think Gene Hackman growing up, I read some Superman comics, but for me, the movies defined what I thought of as Superman, and Gene Hackman put his stamp on Lex Luthor as sort of this, funny, charismatic Lex Luthor, which is probably incorrect. You know, he probably should be more evil and less charming.
Sociopath.
Because as we've seen,
Psychopath.
as we've seen in real life, these people aren't charming at all. They're really sleazy. And if you're charmed by them, you might need to investigate yourself and what's being charmed, you know?
Like, I want to grow up to be like Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
mean,
so
to
the fact
pu- to
that
push
Nick
back-
Holt...
To
Yeah.
push back on that, I think that these business freaks are very surface level charming.
Yeah.
But like if you look below it at all,
Like serial killers.
they're a gargoyle. Yeah, like that's what
Like
I thought Nick
Bateman.
Holt's
American Psycho.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought Nick Holt's Lex Luthor brought, was like it was sort of like a modern Elon Musk, sort of Mark Zuckerberg, but or like somebody a little more zesty and with, you know, cool, quote unquote, because like he was like going around and like patting people on the back and like vibing and whatever, but then he's just like unabashedly doing evil things. And but like when Superman busts in and is just like, "Where's the dog?" and he's just like, "I don't know what you're talking about," and he just like sips his drink. It is just like, because you can see Nick Holt being like, "This is great footage. Like you're doing my job for me." Like you can see him thinking that. I don't know. It's I thought
good.
he did such, but like I also really appreciated. I don't know if this is really a spoiler, but like I really appreciated that he outright just said like, "No, yeah, I'm jealous. Like I have an ego about this, and I am." Like it bothers me. He's like, that's my thing. Like I'm pissed about this.
I think the movie did the right approach.
Yeah.
I think I came in with the wrong expectations. I think I expected the jokes in the film to come from him because in the original Superman movies,
was
Lex
kinda
Luthor
funny.
provided the jokes. And because I've known Nick Holt to be the funniest
Super funny.
character in a show or a movie before, and he wasn't in Superman, this new Superman, other characters were doing all the jokes nonstop. And I think this movie played it correctly. But I was like, oh, I wanted to see some more of my beloved Nick Holt just delivering those amazing lines, and it wasn't him. But it's okay, because I think the movie played it right, and the movie was great, and I loved the movie.
This was more of his Sin City kind of. That was him,
Oh,
right?
wow.
Like,
Was he in Sin City? That's
Wasn't that
such a
him?
long time ago.
Nicholas Holt?
yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Oh.
He might have been so young.
Who's that yellow
back
bastard?
then.
Who am I thinking of?
Oh, that's Terminator 3 guy, Nick Stahl, maybe?
Nick Stahl. Yeah.
Oh, another Nick.
Yeah.
Different Nick. I got my Nicks crossed.
Very close. A lot of the same letters. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I jumbled it in my head. I did a Wordle. What else?
I really liked Superman and Lois's chemistry.
Oh my
I thought
God,
it was
yes.
so fucking magical and just so good. Just their conversations were so real,
Yeah.
so heartfelt. Like that movie just had so much heart.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Superman
just
was so well
remember-
cast. Yeah.
Oh,
like-
dude, I had
Yeah, he was
no
perfect.
experience with that man
Me neither.
whatsoever. And when it was over, I was like, I need
He's
this
Superman.
man to like. I
Yeah.
need this man gives me hope.
Yeah.
I need like all of
He's
the
also
content
such a
of him.
sweetheart, apparently, in real life. Like, all the PR
Aw,
stuff, he's
that's
just
good.
so dear.
He
and,
was
like,
so good.
Lois, I love Lois, like, bi-coded, just, like,
She was
takes
so
no
great.
shit. Like, she was amazing. And, like, she's the perfect foil or perfect pairing for Superman, especially this Superman, where he is kind of like, you know, the perfect Superman. He's like the perfect embodiment of Superman. Like, I also think Christopher Reeve was too, but like, you
Different.
know, and
Back in
Henry
the day.
Cavill was good for a Zack Snyder Superman, but not,
Yeah.
you know, he didn't have this warmth and humanity. But like, yeah, this Superman and this Lois, they're like so perfectly paired, and like she has like Superman level emotional integrity and strength in that regard, and it's like there's such a perfect, I don't know, it was really nice. Did we talk about 28 Years Later last month, or did I?
I forgot to.
I haven't heard either of your take.
I remember when we finished.
Curious.
I was like, "Fuck."
Well, we both, we've seen it. I had heard super mixed things before going into it. Like the phrase I had heard verbatim almost from like several different. They changed the
That's why
numbers.
we gotta see movies day one. I cannot handle that shit.
No, in this case it helped.
It
in
helped.
this case it
Good,
helped
good,
because
good.
I heard like. I think Omar said this, and a few other people said variations on
So
this. But they were
divisive.
like, it's 4 different movies, or it's 2 different movies, or it's 3 different movies, which like kind of is the classic Danny Boyle, Alex Garland pair up vibe. Like they always
and
make
a lot of horror movies in general too. I feel
Yeah.
like there's sometimes like 2 movies in one.
But those 2 specifically make like one movie for 65% of it, and then the last part is just a completely different thing. And like I knew that going in, and I also knew about the weird like iPhone shots. And so
Right.
I knew to expect something, you know.
We're braced for impact.
Yeah, and thus we had just rewatched 28 Days Later, the
Nice.
first one. So I remembered how fucking weird it is. Like when you think back on 28 Days Later, if you haven't seen it in a long time, you know, what you think about is just, you know, oh, the blood drop in the eye, the zombie stuff or whatever. You forget about like the music choices, the editing choices, the shopping spree in the supermarket that has
my
power for
favorite.
some reason with that like goofy music. Like you forget about the like moments of overt filmmaking in that movie, you know? And so I'm really glad we did that because tonally, I think 28 Years Later matches 28 Days Later pretty exactly in terms of tone and like filmmaking choices. Updated a little bit for the modern era, but it honestly has kind of a retro 90s 2000s sort of a mentality, I think. Also just like there's an emotional beat in this. I won't say what it is, but there was an emotional beat in this that almost got me crying in the theater. I liked it.
Good.
Yeah, I liked it.
I love it.
I
I
liked
fucking
it. Yeah, I
love
liked it
that
a lot.
movie. Love it.
Excited for the
I
rest.
love-
Like there's 3 more or 2 more coming or whatever.
Yeah, I just love when a movie takes a horror movie especially, and especially one with such a rep. You know, it is a franchise. This movie was in development for what seems like 20 fucking years.
28 almost.
Yeah, and I just love that it was not what I expected whatsoever. Like at all. At all.
Yeah.
So loved that. You're talking about like how it's multiple movies in one. Like there was a point in the movie where I was like, wait, what is happening? Like what is this movie?
But I liked it, and like again,
Yeah,
it
loved it.
It fits in with the other. It fits in with the series really well, I think.
Great characters.
Great
All the way
characters.
around.
Like, I like the subtle. Like, I know some people were like, why do some of the zombies look this way and some look that way? And I'm like, I kind of like that they sort of just like have a world where most of them starved out, some of them did this, some of them did that, and that's how it went. And I'm like, great.
Yo, no spoilers, but some of those freakos, it was just many good types of freakos in that movie.
Yeah, and then the next one I think is called The Bone Temple or something, and it comes out 28 weeks after this movie. It's already done, apparently.
And who directed that one? It's somebody different, right? It's not Danny Boyle. A woman directed it, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's somebody interesting." And then my mind just forgot who, because my mind forgets everything.
Nia DaCosta from Marvel as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nia DaCosta. Her name is familiar.
The Marvels.
The Marvels, Candyman, the new Candyman.
And Little Woods. Little Woods is fucking great.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll like that one a lot.
I haven't seen any of her movies except for the Marvels, but she's
Goddamn
someone
MCU.
I've been interested
That's why they do it. That's on brand for this episode. That's why they do it.
Yeah.
These auteurs. They're like,
grab-
I'll do the Marvel
I'll
thing.
dip into a Marvels. Yeah. I'll do a Marvel.
They either grab someone who is like a high rep auteur or someone you've never heard of that's never directed features, so they can just tell them what to do. Yeah. Jurassic Rebirth was fine. I don't know.
Oh, I loved it for no reason.
Yeah.
You loved it?
It's my favorite out of all the Jurassic Worlds easily.
Oh, I mean, it's the best Jurassic World, but that's not a high bar to clear. Sorry,
It's
Don.
even better than maybe it's like the second or third best Jurassic Park movie of all time. That's a huge deal.
It's cool if you want another Jurassic Park to be that highly rated, because like sick. That's a special feeling, and it's it's like diminishing returns easily, and like that high is like you're never going to be able to quite recreate, but to get like a small buzz, like huff that glue and be like, oh, there's a little bit left in the bag.
But I like because it focused on the humans first. The dinos were in the background that whole fucking movie. It was all about the humans. I loved every character, even Scarlett Johansson's very vague and basic money motivation. Loved it.
Well, the acting coming out of her and
Mahershala,
I was like, y'all don't need to be going this hard. Like,
and
the
then
conversation and I mean, like, what he's about to say for like you could write that, with your eyes shut, but like that scene, I was like, God, you were both just like bringing it to this. Like,
and Jonathan Bailey was freaking incredible, and Rupert Friend is one of like my favorites, like Nicholas Hoult style. He was perfect as that character.
Yeah,
and I just love, I love the like money mercenary vibe always.
For sure.
So it's
very
like
Resident Evil.
But then it was also like 20 minutes in, I'm just so fucking on board because there's like dinos in the streets of New York. Cool. Like we're way
it's
after.
It's just so dumb that they're like, hey, we finally got dinosaurs all over the world. The third movie is about bugs. And then in this movie, they're like, hey, all the dinosaurs can't live except for on the equator. So Jurassic World isn't Jurassic World anymore. It's like, why did you do this concept at all?
For sure. I like that they went a right turn though, where it's like the dinos just like, you can only carry that on in the franchise for so long, I feel like, if dinos were just everywhere.
They haven't made a movie about dinosaurs being all over the world yet. Like, they've never used that concept as the thing of a movie. It's been the backdrop of two of them.
Yeah.
Every horror movie franchise, and Jurassic Park is kind of, it's kind of horror. Yeah. They eventually hit the city. Predator in New York, Critters take the city.
Lost World, fucking T-Rex.
Or whatever.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny, like that it eventually hit the city.
Yeah. I just liked that some of them were going for money, and then some of them were going for corporate greed, also money. But then some of them also were going for idealistic, like, let's fucking save humanity. So it's like you have all these cool motivations to set up why they're going to even see the dinos.
Yeah.
Which has been like rare in a Jurassic Park movie. The motivations are always like, we're going to make dinos for the park. Like, cool. Who the fuck cares?
Right.
So I liked that.
I would say for me, the ranking of Jurassic Park / World movies would be obviously Jurassic Park 1, head and shoulders above the rest. Then I would say Lost World. Then I would say Jurassic Park 3 and this are tied for third.
Wow.
And then all the rest.
Like that William H. Macy.
Rewatch 3, dude. It's got some moments, dude. It's got some moments. You have to watch it. It's a goofy fever dream.
Super
But it's
goofy.
honestly, it's pretty similar to this one. Like structure and like, pacing wise. Rewatched the first episode of Legion randomly. Just
nice.
Showing Sophia that. I was like dipping into that. It was fun.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's mostly what I've been up to. I will probably remember something, but all right.
You hit like
who's next?
of what I watched. Yeah, I only have one more. You covered them all.
Okay, go for it.
I forgot to mention last time too. Bring Her Back from the Philippines.
I heard that's heavy. Like
it looks
less fun than the Hand one, right? Like less fun, more heavy.
Way less fun. Way less fun. Way less good. Still really liked it. Like any good horror movie, there's a couple images that will stay with you forever easily. You're just like, fuck. What the fuck?
I'm changed.
Yeah, but Talk to Me is like easily in my top 5 horror of the last many, many, many years.
Yeah.
Up there with, like Hereditary and fucking drawing a blank right now. But yes, it's up there. It's
So
up there
it's
with the
number
best.
two.
Yeah, it's super up there. Oh, and Smile, I mean, because I love Smile.
Oh,
Smile 2. But
Smile
Talk to
2, you're
Yes,
right,
Smile
Huber.
2.
Always
We talked
trust
last time
Huber.
about it.
Smile 2 is fucking good.
Trust you for
But-
80% of the time.
80%. Yeah. But Talk to Me was like the freaking best. I love that movie so much. So Bring Her Back hype was like pretty high for me. And then the only thing I knew going in was like, oh, people are saying it's good, awesome. Saw it in an empty ass theater. There was like 2 total people in there. It was pretty
That
intense.
sounds scarier.
It was
for a
intense,
depressing
yeah.
movie. Yeah.
It was like the last show of the night too. It was like 10:15 at night. It was intense vibes in there.
You know, I've been scared off from it because I heard it's heavier than Talk to Me, and Talk to
Yeah.
Me is heavy. Talk to Me
Yes.
is not unheavy, even though it's
I
fun.
have not watched
like,
it because
it's heavy.
I saw a couple of scenes over Sophia's shoulder as she was watching it, and I'm just like, not doing this one.
It's fun. Like, it's fun. It's like it's energetic. It's got like a great pace to it, but it's got like a weight to it also.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for Bring Her Back, the only things I want to say are the story grasps for like higher themes and doesn't quite get there. And then also they're a little fast and loose with like the horror rules as well, just a little bit. That like semi took me back a little.
Okay.
So at the end I came out, I was like happy. I was like, oh, it was good. Like some really cool stuff in there, but it didn't stay with me like Talk to Me did and will for many, many, many years. So
No.
Cray. Have you seen Eddington yet?
no.
Yeah, I want to see. I think I want to see it.
Eh.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've heard. It's giving me 3 Billboard vibes.
Yeah.
You know.
I like 3 Billboards. It's giving me what is that other one? Beau is Afraid vibes.
I mean, same
But
guy.
yeah,
in person,
sorry,
right? And I never saw that
yeah.
one.
Never
that
saw
one
that
looked
either.
that one looked like a bridge too far for me. Where I was like,
Sorry, Ari, it's a bridge too far.
yeah.
Yeah, I just think I don't think and I'm sorry, I just don't think he has quite the grasp of skills enough as a director to take on those topics yet. Maybe he will one day. I just don't trust him to handle those well enough. And I know that's a knock, and maybe I mean it as a knock. I just don't see him having the maturity yet, and maybe he will later in his career.
Yeah.
And maybe he does pull it off in Eddington. I just feel like maybe he's not the right person for that subject matter yet. Not saying you're not allowed to. Please, everybody try. I just doubt that he'll be able to pull it off successfully. But we'll see. Maybe I'll watch it. I'm really tempted. to watch it because, like, the people in it, are amazing. So.
Yeah, that cast is crazy. Did you both see Beau is Afraid?
No.
No, but I kind of want to. That looks fun.
I've watched some videos about it.
Yeah, I want to see it, but
It kind of looked Charlie Kaufman-esque,
It looked like it was trying to be, yeah.
Yeah.
My thing with him, is documented, but like I really love a lot of stuff in Hereditary and Midsommar, but like I just think there are some filmmaking choices that he does that I just don't understand why he's
you
doing
don't
it.
connect with.
You think he telegraphs too
He
much?
telegraphs. Like if you went to film school maybe, or if you're a pretentious asshole like me,
You're not pretentious.
he foreshadows everything so hard that it's kind of insane, and I don't know why he's doing it. But it's like, I acknowledge that, like, most audience members might not, clock it, So it's
I actually like the ride he takes us on. I just think maybe like thematically, sometimes I bump up against the way he handles issues. But, I like that he's a director that takes on issues. I like that he tries. And, Martin Scorsese even praised him in that New York Times essay I mentioned, where he was saying,
Wow.
like, I'm really, really taking liberties with this, but like, fuck Marvel. I want real directors like Ari Aster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, he
yeah.
is a real director, quote
Yeah.
unquote, like
Capital D.
as far as it goes, like whether or not, like, I'll take a director who makes choices, and where I can like point to a choice and say, I like this choice, I don't like that choice. I will take that 10 times out of 10 over, just churn it out of the factory.
Totally.
Don't challenge me, don't make choices movies any day, So, and I'm hoping that we're returning to a kind of a 90s style independent renaissance now.
Movies have been fucking good lately.
Yeah, that's my hope. Like, I just think, like sort of to echo what you're saying, like, even though I loved, a lot about Poor Things or like Suspiria, the remake or whatever, like, there are definitely some movies where I'm just like, I love this. Why are you telling this story? Like, why are you doing this story and not someone where that the story is about? I don't know, but it's interesting. I don't know. That's the tapestry of human experience. What else have you seen, Matthew?
Oh, me.
Matty
okay, cool.
Baby.
Here we go. Well, I've been having like wrist issues lately. I have carpal tunnel that flares up and down, and so when my carpal tunnel flares up, I gotta stop playing video games and take a break from Dark Souls and just watch movies. So, in the studio where he's like, movies. Movies. If you've seen the studio, you'll know the part. But yeah, that was me. I watched so many movies and it was glorious. And they were all good. Most of them were fucking good. If you've ever hit like, just like, like, wow, that sports team is doing good. Like they're on a run, like they're winning game after game. That was me when I was watching movies. I was like, oh my gosh, this movie's good. This movie's good. This movie's good. I was just like, what is happening here? Just like, I was having such a good streak of, like, wow, no bummers here. So I watched The Phoenician Scheme, and I like The Phoenician. I
haven't seen it yet. Oh, you're like the first person I've heard that like really liked it.
Yeah, and I've talked about Wes Anderson a lot on here, where I grew up really liking him, and then like a lot of people, you kind of fall off for the usual complaints. And I love his style, but I do think sometimes it gets in the way of human connection, and that's a typical complaint. It's not a novel. It's not a novel complaint.
That was the most eloquently stated reason of why I don't like Wes Anderson. Thank you.
I think he hides. I
never
behind
connect
it
with
sometimes.
him emotionally. Yeah. Well, not never, but
I think he hides
rarely.
behind it sometimes, and it's okay. Maybe sometimes he can't find it. It's hard to find it in a script, and maybe he's like, well, I do this other stuff well. I'll just keep doing this other stuff well, and maybe I'll find the spark again eventually. But for me, I felt like The Phoenician Scheme was a start to a return to him finding the human connection and a more sincere approach. He still has his little frills that he always does, because he's Wes Anderson. He can't help himself. And this one, he feels like he's repeating some stuff from like other movies that he's done before, but they were movies that I love. You'll see elements of Royal Tenenbaums in there. You'll see elements of Life Aquatic. Benicio del Toro feels like Bill Murray's character from Life Aquatic. He feels like he's like a dad who maybe like fucked up, and is kind of like trying to set things right.
That is peak early Wes Anderson vibe, yeah.
Yeah, and it's cool. He has like he's like people are trying to assassinate him, and he has a lot of assassination attempts. The movie opens with like a plane wreck, which is not a spoiler. It's like the first 2 minutes of the movie, and he starts having these visions of heaven that are shot in this amazing black and white sequences.
Sick.
And they feel like early Powell, Pressburger British films. They're kind of experimental, maybe even a little Czech New Wave. I was getting Czech New Wave feelings, which I love the Czech New Wave. They're edited kind of quickly, and it's almost like he has this spiritual like awakening, like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? I can't be this evil rich dude. Like, I'm having these visions of like, like this kind of like reckoning of like, I'm at heaven's gate and they don't like me up there, so I better like like
very
treat my children better. Yeah. So and it's about him taking a more earnest approach to life, but he's a rich fuck. He doesn't know how to do that immediately, and the movie's about that. I saw
Honestly,
it twice.
That sounds interesting.
does.
Yeah, I saw it twice.
It's on streaming now.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not the best Wes Anderson, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's solid. It's solid Wes
He's
Anderson.
got what, like 20 movies now? Probably.
He
He's
pumps
probably
them
got like
out.
12 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But
What you were saying
it's-
before, Matt, made me think like, in a weird way, Wes Anderson is the MCU of art house, where it's like, because he does put them out at like kind of an alarming pace.
Oh yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
hey, whatever, do your thing.
That's how you
like,
create.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just fuck
sometimes
it,
is just
go for
keep
it.
it, and then you look back after.
If I were Wes Anderson, I would be doing the same damn thing. I would be just like, hell, fuck yeah, let's make movies. Like,
yeah.
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 So I mean, if you're like me and have gotten like found yourself not connecting with some of the more elaborate structures that he does, the nesting story structures, which I know you like, Isla, which I think are cool.
Yeah.
They're impressive, but I found myself not connecting with them. If you just want some straight, head like narrative,
Yeah.
human emotion stuff, this is solid. It's solid.
Okay.
It's not amazing, but it's solid, and
I definitely
there's laughs
fall-
in it. Yeah.
I definitely fall like more in the middle with Wes Anderson, or like middle plus with Wes Anderson, whereas like the only one I dislike for whatever reason, and I've tried it several times, is Fantastic Mr. Fox. Just does not hit with me. I don't feel any connection or interest or emotion to that one.
That one I'm neutral on. I'm just
Yeah,
like
not
cold
sure
neutral.
why, like,
I'm
I just
it's
don't
good, but,
like it.
Yeah.
And then like the rest of them I am positive neutral on, and then like Life Aquatic, Royal Tenenbaums, Grand Budapest Hotel,
Great ones.
I like love. you
Yeah,
know?
those are my favorites also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
and
like-
Bottle Rocket. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, sounds like we have very similar tastes.
Yeah.
So
like
you'll
French
probably like this
Dispatch,
one.
I really liked a lot of it, like blah blah blah. But yeah, so I need to try it. I'm honestly
put this
surprised
up-
that
yeah.
I didn't go see it in theaters.
This feels like a B-side, but a great B-side. Like,
yeah.
hey, like you would put it on a tape for a friend. Like, hey, this is a like
Have you
fun
heard this
kind
one?
of like.
oh.
Yeah.
That's a good way to do it.
But yeah, I know I've gone on for a while about it, but I was really found myself taken by it a couple days after. Like, not when I was watching it, I was not super impressed by it, but then the second go around when I watched it the second time, I was like, yeah, this is really good actually. Yeah,
I love a movie like that where it's like when
Mm-hmm.
you watch it, you're like, yeah, okay, and then like you just don't stop thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, I just love.
Best feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's subtle and kind of just straight ahead human connection stuff, which really good. I watched this movie Lords. It's an older movie. It's from 2009. You've probably heard me talk about this movie Club Zero before. It was one of my favorite movies from last year, and I said it's kind of like a gross out movie about people who refuse to eat. There's like a
Right,
cult
right.
leader, like in a
Right,
high
right,
school,
right.
this teacher, and she like teaches her students like you can, save the environment if you just stop eating food. Like that's a good way to like not consume things. I love that movie. It got not very good reviews, but and it was like an Austrian director who I was like,
it a
oh, this is a
documentary,
lot
that
like
one? I can't
Haneke. It was a narrative
okay.
feature, just an invented,
Right, okay.
script. So I was like, I want to see more of this Austrian director. Like, what else has she done? And so her name is Jessica Hausner, the director. And so I saw her movie called Lords, which came out in 2009, which people actually liked. Instead of Club Zero, people were like, this is a good movie. And it has Leah Seydoux
Oh, wow.
in it.
A fave.
Yeah, who's like in
Icon.
everything now, but this is one of her like first movies.
I love her. She's great.
Yeah, and this movie like touched me. Like it really, really moved me. Like I was like some movies just like profoundly move you. There are some that are like, yeah, that was a good movie, and some you're just kind of like shaken by. Like some like art
Shoplifting.
you're kind of like, yeah, no,
Just like,
really. That's a good comparison. Or like Afterlife or something like that, where you're just
I
kind of
haven't
like
had the
at
guts to
core
watch
of it.
Afterlife because that's what I've heard. It's like it'll destroy you, and I'm like, great. Like
I think Afterlife is in a good way, not in a way where it, the fee is kind of high, but it's like at a fancy restaurant, but you feel like they treat you well
like,
there.
that was worth
at Afterlife.
it.
Yeah. Lords is not quite as expensive of a meal, but I was profoundly affected. This is about a French city where like apparently miracles took place, and people were healed if they go visit it. The Virgin Mary appeared. It's a real city, and so like disabled people take trips there, and in the hopes of having a miracle happen to them. And the main character has multiple sclerosis. And Leah Seydoux is a volunteer. I don't think she's a nun, but she has kind of like almost a Handmaid's Tale get up, very striking red and white imagery. Jessica Hausner is a very striking visual director in both Club Zero and this. If you want someone who has amazing visuals, Jessica Hausner does. And this movie was kind of austere, more like, morally. She feels almost like icy, like Cronenberg or Haneke.
Okay,
And this is about people who with disabilities who are hoping for a miracle, and it's very ambivalent whether or not these miracles happen in the film. It takes a very hands-off approach,
and just probably not at all like this, but it makes me think of like Santa Sangre, or like hopefully less. I like Jodorowsky, but like sometimes it feels a little exploitative.
Yeah, this movie didn't feel exploitative. But what was so devastating to me was like the hope. The hope that everyone had.
Hope is a disease, bae.
Yeah, the hope that everyone had. And I have a very significant disability, and I'm not religious at all, but I identified with that hope in the surgeries I've had, or, will this doctor give me the prescription I need, or will my insurance cover what I need this time around? And so while I couldn't really identify with that religious hope, I definitely could identify with the hope that things will turn out well for me and my disability. And it was just a fantastic movie. I doubt Jessica Hausner herself is religious. It just did not seem that way.
Yeah.
But she used a lot of restraint in not judging people who seemed to be religious.
A favorite thing in life for me is when someone who's not religious kind of tackles something like that, or like writes a song. Like Prayer to God by Shellac comes to mind, where it's like the song is framed as a prayer, but I'm pretty sure you don't believe in God, like that kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't know that song, but I know that band. That's a good band.
Yeah, you should listen to Prayer to God. It's great. To the one true God above, this is my prayer. There are two people here, and I want you to kill them. That's the first part of the song. It's like he's like mad at a ex-girlfriend who cheated on him.
That sounds a little harsh.
It's pretty intense.
Jesus. Literally Jesus.
It's nuts.
Well, that actually makes me, I wasn't going to mention this, but that makes me think of a film I saw, Fanny and Alexander. I wasn't going to bring this up because it's a whole other thing, but I saw Fanny and Alexander, which is a movie by Ingmar Bergman.
I was going to say, isn't that like OG as hell?
Oh, yeah, it's Ingmar Bergman, who's one of my favorite directors, but he's got like 30 movies, so I feel like I'll be watching those for the rest of my life. And it's funny because Ethan Hawke mentions him when Ethan Hawke, like, he swaggered into the whole Martin Scorsese versus Marvel debate.
Totally.
Oh yeah, and he was like, oh, people review. He was even like, gutsier, or people got pissed at him because he was like, people keep giving Marvel movies good reviews, but they shouldn't do that.
It's crazy because he's in the MCU.
Yeah, I know. He was in like, what's the Moon one? Moon Knight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's like the bad guy in Moon Knight.
Yeah, but he was like, if people keep giving Marvel movies good reviews, then who's gonna want to make Fanny and Alexander afterwards? Like, the bar is set too low. So yeah, he has some real snooty opinions. But then I watched Fanny and Alexander, and then I was like straight up weeping during Fanny and Alexander. I don't cried during movies before. I've cried as you get older. at least for me, I'm like more
Oh,
open
yeah.
emotionally. So I find myself crying during movies. When I was younger, I was like, people cried during this. But now you get a little older and just, you're just more open-hearted.
I definitely
I
never.
am.
I never
Yeah.
judged anyone for crying, but I didn't cry for like 20 years, like at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe transitioning or getting older, but like there was a at the LGBTQ center in LA. This is a complete tangent, but they showed me like a video, like an orientation video of like welcome to being transgender or whatever. I didn't end up using them for my like services or whatever, but like there was a line from from this orientation video that was so funny because they said, you may find you have greater access to your emotions. And they they repeated it like it was a warning. Like,
Whoa.
It was really funny, which I do find to be true. But yeah, anyway, I cry in movies more now is my point.
I mean, there are things in life that will definitely.
I think that's the main thing is like so many people have died. I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to cry now about this.
Yeah.
That's actually why I've avoided Ingmar Bergman movies, kind of, because he was my mom's favorite director. And so, like, I don't know if I've really seen any of his stuff because I'm just like, this is going to obliterate me probably because I'll just be thinking of her, like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, your connection with your mom is singular. And this is very personal to be talking about here on our podcast in front of all our viewers. But, my grandfather was as close to me as a parent. I just had a very close relationship.
Yeah.
Closer than some people have or closer than I had to my parents, I feel like. And so when he died, I went back and watched his favorite Western movies that I'd never seen before. Mm-hmm. And, it was hard for me to do for the reasons you're describing because, I missed him. And I was like, is this gonna just be too tough for me to get through? And bringing myself to watch them was harder than actually watching them.
And
then watching them, I was like, here he is with me.
Yeah.
It was like a gift rather than a subtraction.
I'm sure that's that's a good way to put it.
But I think it's different, obviously, for everyone and everyone's individual,
I imagine that would be my experience too, if I'm honest.
Yeah, but Ingmar Bergman movies are different. They're not just like, ooh, I'm in a Western. Yeah, Ingmar Bergman movies are meant to be devastating emotionally.
And death is a character.
And Fanny and Alexander definitely was. I mean, I was just weeping during this. Just sobbing about what was happening on screen. The kindness will make me cry in a movie
gets me,
more than something sad. The kindness that one of these characters was, doing towards a child, which kind of like shoplifters, Huber. And then the beauty of the editing choices, the culmination of everything that happened over the past 5 hours, because it's a 5 hour long movie.
Oh,
yeah. And then, but also what made me think of it is there was like this kid kind of prays to this androgynous, kind of like antichrist figure to set an evil priest on fire.
Hell yeah, get it?
Yeah.
My interest
if
in
that's
this
not
movie
a pitch
just
for the movie.
skyrocketed.
Yeah. But then I was like, yeah, fuck MCU, even though I love MCU movies. And at that moment, I was like, if I could be Thanos and in the blink of an eye wipe out all the MCU movies just so Fanny and Alexander could exist, I would. And then it would be me and Ethan Hawke standing over the
Hanging out, dude. You and Ethan.
You and Ethan Hawke standing on a building, and all the MCU fans scream out, "Help us!" and you whisper, "No."
Yeah. No, but I do have a great affection for many MCU movies. I don't think any of them have made me like sob over the power of cinema.
Yeah.
But I'm sure many people have connected to them. in
Endgame
that
made
way.
me sob for different reasons.
Oh,
Yeah, and just because it's not me doesn't mean they can't do that for other people.
I mean, for me, like, and I mean, we could use this to segue, but if you've got more, I want to hear them. But like, for me, it's a false dichotomy. Like I don't see one taking away from the other because it's like the money that the business freaks that are gonna funnel into something like an MCU was never gonna go to Fanny and Alexander because the people giving that money, they would never do it. Like, I just don't. I don't know. Like
the
especially
argument
now, like in 1997, yes, like a company would, the same company might fund, Clerks or, Gladiator, like,
or Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah. But like right now, the company's funding MCU, and they're not gonna fund Fanny and Alexander necessarily.
Yeah, I don't know how to solve that problem. Martin Scorsese in the essay said that, like, people make the argument that you're just giving your, audiences what they're demanding. But if you only give them this, did we lose Huber?
We've lost Michel Hubert.
Oh, I accidentally Thanos
Huber.
Oh no!
Oh no! Perfectly.
That was an
balanced.
accident. I didn't mean to. Did I do the wrong ring?
Whoopsie daisy.
All right. I don't remember what we were discussing exactly before I Thanos my dear friend Michael out of existence. I'm glad we were able to save him. It was a mistake. I take it back. Ethan Hawke did it. It wasn't me.
It was.
Inside you is two Ethan Hawkes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're back, though. I regret my words and deeds.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, well, I will jump back and say, I'll run through my things really quickly, fast track a few other movies I saw.
Yeah.
Because they're fun, independent movies. I saw Sister Midnight, which is an upcoming Indian film, which I think, hopefully, if there's any justice, people will be talking about.
I feel like I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a movie that, and I always worry, viewers, listeners, please tell me how I'm doing on spoilers for films, because I watch a lot of like indie movies that take wild turns about halfway through,
Love
and
those.
I want people to be interested in them. But I don't want to give the hook away too much.
Yeah.
So, like, let me know in the comments, like, you spoil too much or you're too vague. Either way, let me know where my meter is. But anyway, Sister Midnight is a woman in India who feels like a little dissatisfied by her marriage. She feels like bored and oppressed. And then she starts going through a weird
marriage, right?
It wasn't arranged.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't. But it feels almost arranged in terms of like just her level of unhappiness.
I think I've seen the trailer for this, but it was a long time ago.
And she starts to go through a transformation that feels almost vampiric or surrealist. And the movie takes a surprising turn. It has a lot to do with Hindu, symbolism. It kind of reminded me of the Kali, I believe, is the Hindu goddess. And because I just often don't have a frame of reference for all world cultures, some of the movies that I watch just, feel so imaginative to me, and it probably is a very imaginative movie, but when you don't have a frame of reference for something, you're just taken on such a ride where you're like, I don't understand most of what's happening, but I'm loving what I'm watching, even if it's so complex I don't even know if I'm processing it all.
I love it when that still works, because there are definitely some movies where I've seen where I'm like, okay, there's a whole cultural political thing that is underpinning all of this that I just don't understand, and so none of this means anything. There are plenty of those, but then there are other ones where it's like, this probably means something, but it also just works.
Yeah, it borders on the I'm not sure if it works, but I was fascinated enough and it's enjoyable enough where,
Nice.
it was almost like not as obscure experimentalist Jodorowsky, but you're like, I don't know what all this symbolism is, but it's cool. It's
With
cool to
Jodorowsky,
look
I'm not
at.
sure he knows half the time.
Yeah. Is it Jodorowsky? Is it?
I've always said Alejandro Jodorowsky.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't talk about him a lot, so I want to correct myself.
I talk about him all the time.
Yeah. So, and it kind of, this is a shout out for probably Tokyo Slim and Uzi Suicide. They will know.
What up?
Boxer's Omen. Huber, maybe you've seen this. That Shaw Brothers martial arts horror
I don't know if I've seen
film.
that one, no.
Boxer's Omen has this weird kind of body horror thing going on.
Sick.
It kind of felt like that where you're just like, where are they taking this weird turn where bodies get like hung out to dry and transformed, and you're like, what is going on? And it starts from such a mild mannered place, and by the end of the movie you're like, whoa, we went somewhere. Sister Midnight, keep an eye out for it.
Okay.
Sick.
And then Fremont, it was from a couple years ago. That's a indie movie. It has Jeremy Allen White from The Bears in it.
Say the
if you're a
name
fan
again?
of him. It's called Fremont.
Oh,
is the
okay.
name of the movie. Jeremy Allen White's in it, and it's a Iranian director. He's got a very Jim Jarmusch, dry, kind of down by law style of comedy. Almost like too cutesy, but the story is so charming that I fell for it anyway. It's about an Afghan immigrant, and she comes to America because she was a translator for America during the war, and so she had to come over because she was probably going to get killed if she didn't come over to America. She's on a visa, and unfortunately in real life here, as we know, a lot of those people are probably marked for deportation now, despite the fact that they helped the war effort, which is beyond fucked up.
Yeah.
But this movie is it's just like a cute romantic comedy in a very deadpan, dry style. And the comedian Neil Hamburger, if anybody's familiar with that dude, he's got the slick back hair normally, and he tells like really, over the top jokes. Well, he plays a very like serious psychiatrist, and he's very cute and Wes Anderson-y in this. He's a wonderful part of this, very touching part of this movie. I fell for this movie really, really hard. It was very cute and heartwarming. So if you want something just kind of cute, but about, being a immigrant in America and the Afghan experience, but it's got a lot of good jokes in it. And it's about fortune cookies also. She ends up working in a fortune cookie factory. I love fortune cookies. I'm a complete atheist. I'm a radical materialist in terms of my views on the world. I'm I have a scientific outlook, but also I believe in fortune cookies. Whatever a fortune cookie tells me is real.
Yeah.
That's going to come true.
I still knock on wood constantly.
Yeah.
The best thing about fortune
anything.
cookies is Ben Kingsley's Iron Man 3 rant about them.
I forgot
I
what
don't
that
remember
was.
that. Yeah, I don't
See,
remember.
we're bringing it back to MCU
But they're an
constantly.
American invention. They're fucking
Oh,
they are.
blood
Well,
and shit.
Well, Fugetsu Do actually invented them in Little Tokyo in Los Angeles. Fugetsu Do, they make the best mochi probably outside of Kyoto, I think. But they also invented fortune cookies. They claim
wow.
to. They claim to have.
That's fun.
And then finally, my last one I'll say, I saw hundreds, but I'll just use this for the last thing. I wrapped up Andor, and I watched Rogue One again, which I've loved Rogue One.
I still haven't
and
rewatched Rogue One. I want to do that.
It's good. It's fucking really good.
I fucking love Andor.
Really
dude.
good.
Holy
Because if
shit.
you love Andor, all of a sudden you got Rogue One, which cost, however, a couple $100 million.
Yeah.
So it's like Andor with that level of budget. And it's good. It's the culmination of all their efforts from the 2 seasons of Andor. It's really good. And the sassy robot's there being sassy.
K2SO, dude.
Yeah, the continuity of that character works so well, of that sassy
That's
robot.
I feel like
Again,
Andor's continuity
Yeah.
is like 10% compromised, though, going from Andor to Rogue One.
I agree with you. It does. It does a little bit. Some things
In
you
what
kind of
way?
like raise your eyebrow a little bit. You're like
Things he says, things he does.
Oh,
and, like,
his
the mo-
specifically. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
and
Yeah.
the motivations of like season 2 and what he's fighting for like doesn't translate as well into.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
does. They could have done that a little bit more cleanly.
Yeah, because in Rogue One, he's like a true believer, right? Isn't he? I haven't rewatched it.
It's a little spotty in some points. I was like, there's some like bumpiness and plot holes that I feel like, especially how buttoned up some Star Wars things are on plot points. It feels like they had some loose ends. I agree with you.
I feel like you can. The smart thing with Andor that they did was the time jumps, because like you could just imagine a time jump wherein anything that doesn't make sense shifted in his mind in the interim, between Andor season 2 and the movie. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. But I was hungry for more Star Wars, and the reason I got into Star Wars is because my younger brother. He's a great person. I love him dearly, and I was a bully older brother. Not hopefully not terribly, but it was in the traditional older brother style. You're like, look at your younger brother, and you're like, oh, what do you like? You like Star Wars, you nerd. Star Wars is boring.
For
and then like
losers.
yeah, and then I later saw what a great person my brother was. He's a great human being, and I was like, I shouldn't be like this. He's a wonderful human. So he likes Star Wars. I'll get into Star Wars, and so I got into Star Wars as a result of just loving my brother. And then right around that time, Rogue One came out, and I was like, oh my god. He's actually just right. In general, Star Wars is legitimately good. And so, but anyway, I went back and I wanted more good Star Wars shit. And I was like, I'm going to start at the beginning. I'll watch all of it. I'll watch the cartoon shit. I'm going to watch everything this time now. I'm like, I'll watch it all. Fuck it.
Clone Wars.
I'm going to watch all of it. So like, so I'm going to start chronologically from the beginning. And I started with The Acolyte. And The Acolyte is fucking good.
Whoa.
The Acolyte is fucking good. Did you see this, Huber?
Mostly good.
You didn't like it?
I watched the
I
first 2 episodes.
like
That
it.
was awful.
I like it.
It's good.
I don't love
The
it.
first
like
2
when it got
episodes aren't,
canceled
like,
and like
super
some people
awesome,
were
but, like-
crying, I was like, take it or leave a season 2.
I
I'm
was
good.
so bummed. I was so bummed. I mean, like, I'm not sure if it could continue as good of a trajectory on season 2, but like, I really, really dug it. I really the
I will
topics
say
it
the
deals
hate was
with,
insane.
and like
Yeah.
the way
deserve
it
it.
makes the Jedi look like such
See, I thought that was, like, so
misguided
overhyped.
sort of like
I thought that was
religious
overhyped.
twerps.
I thought that was like, nah. That's the part I didn't like. Where
you
everyone
weren't
was like,
into it.
well, because everyone's like, ooh, the Jedi are actually bad. I just thought, like, okay, say more, do more. And the show doesn't. It's like,
I thought
to what end? The Jedi, everyone is morally gray in this universe. Like, what?
but I thought it was a cool thing to explore.
say
I mean, like, I
very
don't want to
few
like
people-
give it away, like, for people who haven't seen The Acolyte, because there are some like topics it gets into. But I guess if you imagine like people doing that in the real world, right? Like, let's take away all the magical stuff and say that guy comes and does that to a human in the real world. It feels very like colonialist, like, we're gonna come and take your
Oh,
blood,
it's
and
insane.
like we're gonna like do a blood test and like fuck your lesbian mothers, and we'll just hijack you and like do even worse things that I'm not gonna describe for the sake of the plot. But like, that's like, it's ridiculous, like the things that happen in the show. And then for her to want revenge and kind of go on a Kill Bill hit list,
It was cool.
I thought, like, of course, do it. Fuck them
Liked her a
up.
lot.
Yeah. And like there's this one
Sick
line,
lightsaber battles.
See you in hell, like, see you in hell, Jedi. That fucking line is so baller. Like, I was like, this show rules. Like, how could you not like it at that point? Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to love it, but just at least for that one moment, I was like,
Yeah.
that's a pretty classic Star Wars moment for the hero of the show to say, see you in hell, Jedi, and you're kind of rooting for them. I'm like, that's cool. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. Just because I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it. Whatever, I gotta watch everything. Just because I was like, I want to see the whole scope of it. I want to see all of it. I want to hold
when it was
it all
over, I
in
was
my
like, oh, it
mind.
was good.
Yeah.
I do like in terms of like Jedi as a religion, like I do appreciate, or that's the take I've always wanted from Star Wars, which is why I enjoyed aspects of the Last Jedi, because like when Yoda is like, fuck these books, like who gives a shit, like just do the general thrust of this, like to me, because it's like in a lot of Star Wars, to me it seemed like what it was saying is like, this is a religion that has, some people are fundamentalists and are taking it a little too far, but like the main teachings are not that complicated. It's just like do this and that and you can do the Jedi stuff. But everyone else is taking it like too seriously and like weaponizing it, which to me is like a really interesting aspect of organized religion and stuff, and which I think is what Star Wars is like kind of interfaces with, but never goes like so far as to actually say it, except for a few times where it almost does, but then Disney like reels it back because they're cowards. But like
that's why
this one didn't feel reeled back.
It felt
like,
undercooked with all of that.
Well, that's why it needed season 2.
Yes,
it needed season 2. Yeah.
But the premise of season 1 is so much cooler than the execution. That's why I was like, oh, it's fine. Like Jedi cool.
They need the ability for more executions.
Yeah.
In season 2.
Yeah.
More Jedi executions. Also, Trinity from the Matrix.
Dude.
Trinity from the Matrix.
So
and I
good.
won't say all the things that she does may be good, may be evil. You'll have to go watch The Acolyte to find out.
There's some
I loved it.
There's some
I loved The
there's actually some 10 out of 10 shit in there. Like a couple parts are like, why that's the best.
They do wire kung fu. Like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Okay, maybe not on that level. Maybe not on that level, but you're
achieve that level. Yeah.
There's like one lightsaber fight that happens, like one somewhere near the end of the season, where I was just like, normally I don't pay attention during lightsaber fights, because even though I've just praised what a wonderful human my brother is, still when a lightsaber fight comes on, I'm just like, okay, like what's on my phone?
I know. I like
that one. I was like, oh
fighting.
shit. I was like on the edge of my seat. I was like, what's going to happen with this lightsaber fight? It was that good. Like they got some serious martial arts people to like figure some shit out with that one. Like it was good. But then I watched episode 1 and episode 2, The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Huber, I'm glad The Phantom Menace brings you so much joy.
So much joy.
That's what I'll say about Phantom Menace.
So much
I'm glad it
joy.
brings you so much joy.
The pod racing is cool.
So much joy.
And then Attack of the Clones.
So little joy.
So Jar Jar Binks, like I know people hate him, but that motherfucker, he helped bring in martial law.
He's the reason for all of it.
That dude was like, hey, I think it's a good idea to do martial law.
He was being manipulated. But also, that's why a lot of people sport the Darth Jar Jar, that he's a secret Sith. Which in the
he's a putz then at best.
He's a putz.
He's like
Of course.
just yeah.
I recommend,
he was never the smartest.
When you get to it in your rewatch of all things Star Wars, the Lego Rebuild the Universe Star Wars show, like miniseries on Disney Plus, is actually like pretty sick.
Oh, I don't
honestly,
know if I even saw that in the
shockingly
chronology.
good.
Where does that take place? And
it's a what if, so you could kind of watch it wherever, but like
okay.
It plays with your expectations on the whole series. So like I would say watch it after all 9 movies.
Okay.
Because it
okay.
like it
so that'd be the final thing I watch is Lego What If.
it's a
Lego What If.
But it's actually surprisingly good. I thought.
Well, I don't want to turn this into a Star Wars podcast
this is a
because
superhero
like
podcast.
I will be watching all of it if I can continue. But I've taken a deep breath, and I'm going underwater, and I'm watching all of Star Wars. Yeah.
Darth Jar Jar is also in Fortnite.
Yeah.
So, well, yep. On some more superhero stuff.
All
I mean,
right.
I have a lot of movies I watch, but I think we should go into the subject at hand further.
Yeah.
and decide who won.
Yeah.
I mean, are we going to focus more like exclusively on Martin Scorsese movies? Because he's not my favorite director at all. I think
mean,
more the
at
movies
all.
he was defending are more important. Like, I think as a film conservationist, he's amazing. Like, top shelf film historian.
Yeah.
He does important work. As a director, I could take or leave him.
Hey.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts before we begin on Mafia content?
Mafia content?
Yeah.
I mean, some of it's cool. Some of it's cool. Yeah. I mean,
But you're not an enthusiast about the mob.
He's a skilled technician, no doubt. Like, unparalleled, like, skill and imagination, and like, I think that, like, shitty white guys doing shitty things, like, he may be a master at the genre, but like, it's just like, I can only watch so much of that, before it, like, it's like I get the point a little. And it's when he deviates a little from that formula that I start to enjoy it. And Isla and I
filmography
have
is
talked.
so diverse.
Yeah, it is, and that's
have a
why I'm
weird-
talking about
yeah.
when he deviates. That's when I enjoy it. And Isla and I have talked a lot about After Hours, and After Hours might be my favorite of his.
I really like I just did the math. I've seen 12 out of his 27 movies, so I've seen 44% of his movies.
Wow. Yeah.
Just counting his feature films, not counting documentaries or any of that. Yeah, and I would say that, like, I don't love Mafia content. I don't dislike it. Mafia stuff rides the line for me with, like, some unlikable protagonist stuff where it's like, you're doing this to yourself, man. Like, quit betting.
Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah, like, quit betting on basketball games. Like,
Don't you
Uncut
feel
Gems.
bad for people that harm themselves?
Sure, in real life, but in a movie, I'm like, I don't care.
But a movie is trying to convey the human experience,
Yes.
and part of the human experience, one of the main things, is humans harming themselves physically or mentally.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
do. And for me, Michael, I sometimes, like, I find those movies much more fascinating than Isla does. But
Like, we destroy ourselves. That's that's humans.
Right, but
people
like,
hurting other people is where, like, I find, like, I get repulsed more quickly. People hurting themselves, I'm endlessly fascinated by it. I will watch those movies until, like, they kick me out of the theater.
to me, in a narrative, right? Like I will, I have a lot of friends who struggle with, addiction or, self-harm and that kind of stuff. And I will, I'm there for them, and I will go to bat for them, forever, because I give a shit. I care about them. If
In
a
real
movie,
life.
if Uncut Gems or Inside Llewyn Davis doesn't give me a reason to like this guy, why do I give a shit? Like, I'm not gonna
He
watch.
saved the cat.
You need to
The
say,
screenwriting trick of the trade. Yeah,
as trite as it is, you do kind of need a save the cat moment.
He's saved the cat inside Llewyn Davis.
But sometimes
in
it's
the poster.
it's not enough. But, like, I don't know. That's my thing with that kind of stuff, where it's just like, you gotta give me a reason to care, which in a lot of mafia movies, I think they do, which is why the difference there. Like Godfather, it's like, I care about these guys, and I'm interested in that. And, like, Goodfellas, a little less so for me personally.
For sure.
Taxi Driver is, like, such a weird case, because it's like, I find you fascinated. Like, I think Taxi Driver, it's been a long time since I've seen Taxi Driver, but, like, I think Travis Bickle is infinitely more interesting than Joker. If we're comparing those tropes, where it's like, okay, Travis Bickle, it's like, I might not like you, but I get it a little. Like,
Dude,
I
ahead of its time.
get
Like,
you as a
I feel like,
character, yeah.
I feel like Taxi Driver people are like his character is like modern society now sometimes.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very, like,
Martin Scorsese said now he's every other person, unfortunately.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He seemed like an outlier when he made the movie. Now he's like, those are all your neighbors. Yeah.
Exactly.
God.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but, like, I don't dislike maybe any Martin Scorsese movies, but yeah, I think After Hours is maybe my favorite. I Shutter Island is such an interesting one, and I've rewatched it.
I need to rewatch that one, Island, because you love that one, and you talk about it a lot.
I love it. I would say that I enjoy it.
I really dislike that so much when I saw it at the theater, and
same. I didn't like it. Well, because my theory with that movie is, I think I've talked about on this, but like so much of the filmmaking in Shutter Island is so overtly terrible that like I thought this even while I was watching it, where I was like, some of the editing and shots and like even like VFX compositions are so obvious and like so ridiculously over the top that I was like, okay, you have to be intentionally drawing my attention to the filmmaking here, to the artifice of the storytelling for a reason. And then like, that bears fruit. And like watching it again with that in mind, I think that theory, I think it's correct, but like it is a wild choice to be like, hey, we're going to do bad editing for the first half of this movie to unsettle the audience and make them aware of the filmmaking process to tell the story. And I think like if that was intentional, if that is the case, I think that's a cool experiment.
Yeah, it's very
it's weird.
It's more meta than he gets usually, but
and again,
he's
maybe not true.
Out of the box for him.
I have not looked into it, but who knows? Yeah. And like After Hours, After Hours with what I was talking about before with an unlikable protagonist, like After Hours is so interesting because it's like, he's not a great dude. He's just a normal dude.
He's just a guy.
And like,
he's just a dude.
He's just having a bad night and he's like trying his best. And he's like, he never does anything that I can recall offhand, like bad, so you don't like he has opportunities to do the wrong thing, and he doesn't exactly, if I recall.
No, but he has opportunities to do good things, and he kind of fails the moment.
Doesn't really either. Like he could definitely handle a situation with a particular woman better, but at least he doesn't like. I mean, again, if I'm forgetting something, please forgive me, but I don't recall him like taking advantage of her, which he
certainly not. He's just very insensitive and looks out for himself.
He just doesn't give a shit. Like, he just wants to go home, basically.
Yeah, he just wants
which
to go
I can
home.
relate to. So, like, that one's interesting because it's like, I don't like him necessarily, but I understand him.
They made him compelling enough.
Yeah.
Which is hard to do. And I think a lot of that has to do with Griffin Dunne as an actor.
Yeah.
Because that's a fine line to walk where you're just like, take it or leave it morally, but you're still fascinating to watch on screen. And you're kind of like, I want to see this person at least get through the night or see how they don't. I want to see them die or get home. Either way, I'm on board.
One or the other.
One or the other.
Yeah.
And like the sort of like, again, that movie is such an outlier, I feel like, for him, because it exists in such a like heightened and bizarre version of reality. Like everything is like just a little plussed up from what is normal in a way that doesn't like strain credulity, but it also feels like slightly magical.
Yeah, the way you said that, I didn't think about that before, but now that I think of it, it's very much like a Thomas Pynchon book. And I didn't make that connection before, but it's a lot like The Crying of Lot 49, a short 100-page Pynchon book, or like Vineland. Very like zany situations that can happen in real life, but it's improbable that they would all happen in such quick succession. Yeah, the way you phrased that, it didn't make that connection for me before, but yeah.
Yeah, it's like almost magical realism, but nothing
like hyper realism.
Yeah, like nothing impossible happens. But like, I mean, maybe the most magical thing in it is that women are interested in him at all. But
he had that 80s swinging bachelor loose suit going on. Yeah.
Anyway, let's get we jumped in hyper specific.
Focused. Yeah.
Let's
Last Temptation of Christ.
Oh my God.
That's magical.
That's a good
10 out
one.
of 10.
You know, people like protested the shit out of that movie.
oh,
It was
of
so
course.
controversial.
They
It's so
wanted it
fucking
to be,
respectful.
yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
it's really,
respectful. Because Martin Scorsese, I think he's Catholic. I actually think, despite
One
like
would
all the
assume.
like swearing and shit in his movies, I think that was a very respectful religious movie. Like, I think it treats Jesus. I mean, I'm not Christian myself, but like, I know I grew up religious, and I think that treats him very respectfully. I think
Yeah.
it's a deeply religious movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
I haven't seen that one in so long.
It's a
Love that
crazy
movie.
movie. Yeah, it's really good. It's funny because it's like, yeah, again, I'm not religious, but I was raised Christian, and it's like that it's in that part is in the Bible. Like the, Satan tempting Christ, is there. It's basically just like filling in the gaps between the three sentences that mention it. So it's weird that everyone was like bitchy about it, but it's like, whatever. And it was actually pretty great marketing, I think, for the long term for the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows even
It's a very
more
intense
what of
name,
a
too,
sacrifice
Yeah.
he would have made if you take the mythology at its face. Like, this dude is suffering so much and supposedly is doing this as a sacrifice for everyone, and like, could have this alternate life. He could like go and live out peacefully for all these years, and instead was shown it and gets to experience it, and says nope, I guess I'll just die up here and suffer instead.
Yeah,
as a
I love
sacrifice for everybody. Like, I think that's so respectful, but
I love a
people are pissy.
I love
especially
you
with
get
religion.
to live a lifetime within your lifetime kind of a story too,
Yeah,
which is interesting.
yeah.
The line that rings in my ears from that one is when Satan or whatever says like, well, she's Mary also. Like, all women are Mary. Like, don't sweat it. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, just get with her too. Like, it's like, oh, okay.
It was
like, all
it was
right.
Willem Dafoe, right?
Oh yeah,
As Jesus, right?
as the Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe. He's got range in him. Can you imagine?
Absolutely, I love Willem Dafoe.
Icon.
Anyway, let me start from the start. We jumped
Yeah.
in.
Well,
We jumped
yeah,
into
well-
the pool here. All right, this is the ultimate
Bird's eye.
showdown between cinema
Yeah.
and theme parks. For context, Scorsese once said of Marvel movies, "That's not cinema. Honestly, the closest thing I can think of them, as well made as they are, with actors doing the best that they can under the circumstances, is
He's
theme
not wrong.
parks." He's not wrong. It isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being. So yeah, we're gonna tally them up. Who's got more movies, more good movies?
Yeah, see, I think he's wrong at that last point he
I
made,
think
though,
he's-
because they've grown
think he's-
into more since then.
I think I don't know. I always read this as a little tongue in cheek, but
Even the best superhero movies, even fucking Endgame, is about plot, action. Like, I know what he's trying to say about like changing a human's moral or philosophical or emotional outlook on humanity and life. Superhero movies do not do that.
Yeah,
Maybe like the most recently we were talking about at the start of the episode was Superman giving us hope, but like that's not like deep or anything. That's like, oh, this person's giving us hope.
that is because of the characters and the emotional portrayal and experiences
Yes,
of the
yeah.
characters. Like a movie cannot be good if it doesn't have characters with emotions.
Totally.
Like,
100% agree.
like basically, I'm sure there are exceptions, maybe, but like Fantasia, I don't know. But like, generally speaking, a good movie, even an MCU movie, is good because the characters and their emotional beats hit, right? So it's like, I honestly just think is like the volume sliders are adjusted differently, where it's like, a Scorsese movie or like a Bergman movie, the huge plot point might be someone changing their mind. Or having a feeling or a thought, right? And that's like,
Love that.
That's like an atom bomb, basically, story-wise. Whereas
The Departed.
the story beat in an MCU movie, that has the same magnitude in the narrative.
The villain got the gas.
Or is the planet explodes or something, right?
Yeah,
It's the same beats. The volume is just different on different parts of it. So it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, not to just say my conclusion at the top, but like, I don't know.
I've been really touched by the characters in Marvel movies, including the shows. The shows, I think, especially, because they
WandaVision
have
comes to
longer
mind, yeah.
times, to develop the characters in the shows. But I don't know if any of them have made me want to be a better person.
Yeah.
But some art movies frequently make me want to be a better person. And the other day I was acting like a character in an art movie I had seen, a bad character, and it made me think, God, I'm being like that jerk in that movie. Like, take a breath.
Yeah.
Collect yourself. Don't be like that jerk. Don't be like that mean priest. That the little boy wanted to set on fire. Like, gather yourself. Don't be a jerk. Take, reflect on yourself. And a Marvel movies never made me want to.
And I feel like the MCU kind of has
myself.
that like JRPG vibe of like, well, we're like 20 years into following these characters. You're going to be attached to them on a base level because you've been following them for so long.
Because you got that cachet.
Like obviously when fucking Wanda shows up, you're like, oh, this is my old friend returning. This is a character I have been invested
Mario.
in by
It's
sheer
Link.
volume. Exactly. Whereas like Scorsese is making you care and be like emotionally fucking wrecked or invested in 2 hours, 3 hours, done.
But I mean, like, so did the MCU. Like, you didn't care about Iron Man until Iron Man 1. Like, and that was that movie.
That is always how I've defended the MCU though too, of like
they've all done it.
nobody is doing what the MCU has done with like 40 goddamn movies or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
So I think like when people do criticize that aspect, I'm actually like in favor of it, but I see what Scorsese brings of
Also,
like, yeah.
Just to reiterate, he isn't saying that it's, trying to make you better or change you. It's just saying it isn't the cinema of human beings trying to convey emotional, psychological experiences to another human being, which the MCU does do. Some of them aren't human beings, but they're conveying emotions. Anyway, whatever. So I asked our patrons, patreon.com/reactionshots, join for $3 to get in the Discord, join these conversations, and just generally have a nice time.
And thank you for everyone who does. Yeah. I use that money to pay for my internet to talk to you, and then sometimes I use it to rent a movie to discuss with you all. So thank you sincerely.
Yeah,
thank you.
Sincerely.
It really means a lot. I mean, like, we do this show just because we love doing it, and your support means the world to us. So yeah, thank you so much. I asked our patrons, obviously, again, to reiterate, this is all tongue-in-cheek.
This is fun.
Obviously,
I'm dead serious.
They're both fine.
You two are tongue-in-cheek. I'm serious.
Endgame and The Departed, two of my all-time favorite movies of all time in my whole life.
And The Departed sucks. So it's like, we can all have different opinions.
You both need to rewatch Departed. It's been too long.
The rat on the railing at the end of the movie really pissed me off.
I have the Hong Kong trilogy.
No, I was just going to say, don't you bring your fucking pretentious ass Infernal Affairs in here every time, Matthew. Every fucking time. Better. The Departed is so much better than Infernal Affairs.
Oh,
it's not even close.
Oh, God.
Not even close. I can't with you in this.
Pretentious ass. That's like pop cinema. That's Hong Kong pop cinema. Anyway, we're not debating those. That's the next episode.
Yes,
oh my God.
Infernal Affairs versus The Departed, or like country remakes.
Yeah,
when a country does like a different.
That's a good episode.
That is fun.
That is a good episode. Don't let me forget that.
that is fun. That is fun.
God, that's so much homework.
We could do the new Spike Lee. Yeah.
Anyway,
High and low. High and low.
Akira Kurosawa. But Denzel.
Shit. I didn't know he was
does
doing
it.
that. Oh shit, Denzel.
It's out. Yeah.
It's out? Fuck me.
It's out now.
It's out now. Okay.
I hear it's wild. Yeah. Anyway.
Anything else? Anything? I asked our patrons. Who
wins?
What's your favorite Scorsese and what's your favorite superhero movie? Also, we are going to be pronouncing Scorsese. We don't know. Nobody knows. I've watched a video of him pronounce it 4 times and it just won't stay in my mind.
I thought it was Scorsese.
I thought that's how he says it too.
Yeah,
Scorsese. I think it's Ezzy.
Scorsese.
Scorsese?
Scorsese.
It's with a Z and a E.
Says.
Says.
Yeah.
Like the man says.
Like the man says. Sometimes you eat the bear, and sometimes the bear he eats you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, should we try to? Should I call up the video right now? Of
I thought you were gonna say call up Scorsese right
yeah,
now.
let me
Call
call
him
Marty. Marty, how do you say your last name? Anyway, I'm also ordering a sandwich because it's 3 p.m. All right. Tra-la-la. Okay. Oliver Leland. I'll preface my take by acknowledging that I don't personally care very much about superhero movies, nor do I concern myself with whether others do. A good policy. People should watch movies and engage with art by any means necessary. Even watching something that you ultimately dislike is a more meaningful activity than spending an entire evening scrolling or something. I would agree. Where it's easy to become cynical about this genre specifically, it can feel like a perversion of the medium as a commercial product rather than some expression of something human. It's the difference between prioritizing appealing to as wide an audience as possible and prioritizing some ultimate realization of what you're trying to express or create. It's not art versus entertainment so much as it is art versus commercialism, I suppose. Committees don't write poetry. The boardroom's mixtape is not what you want to hear. But the motion picture business is a business. And I think that's the heart of this whole thing. But honestly, I just want people to watch more movies. I don't really care at all if it's something that appeals to me. Scorsese's After Hours is my favorite of his.
Yes.
I agree.
Did I write this?
Yeah. And
I
they
just
also
wrote
say-
in all the comments.
You wrote in all the... They say their favorite superhero movie is probably Batman 89. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. I did write this.
You did write it. I mean, yeah, that is an excellent point where it's like, this is kind of what I always say about video games and movies and whatever, where it's like, the bigger something's budget is, the higher its marketing budget and production budget is, the more middle of the road it has to be necessarily because it has to appeal numerically to the most amount of people it possibly can to make any money back. So something like the more something costs, necessarily, the less niche and thoughtful potentially it can be.
Killers of the Flower Moon is fucking hardcore as fuck, and it's $200 million movie.
And I don't know if it made it back.
It did not.
Yeah, exactly.
But they spent a lot, and they didn't compromise their
which
vision.
I love, and I wish
But
that more billionaires
it's
and
pretty
huge
rare
companies
that
would do that.
You know,
Yeah.
But that is
only
rare.
Yeah.
Scorsese can come in
Right.
and do that. Not a lot of other auteurs are able
Which-
to say, "Give me $200 million to make a movie about
3.5 hour
indigenous
fucking
people
epic.
getting murdered."
Which, like,
yeah.
huge points for Scorsese for doing that. Like, getting
Top
a
10
bunch
most
of money,
underrated movies ever made? What the fuck? 10 out of 10.
but a commercial failure. So it's like,
Commercial failure. Yep.
That's basically what Oliver was saying is like, you have to, like, there was a sweet spot, and I think financially there still is a sweet spot, but I think the budget is lower maybe now than it was. But like, thinking again of the 90s or 2000s where it was like, I don't know why I thought of this right now, but like Collateral, right? Where it's like a
I was thinking of Collateral earlier.
yeah, like Michael
that came to my
Mann's
mind,
Collateral,
yeah.
Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx. So the budget was probably not low, but it was like a pretty
was like
introspective,
double-A budget
thoughtful
ones.
movie, like double A,
yeah.
double A movies.
Double A's are
gone
vanishing
away.
everywhere. My God.
Best.
And I missed
That's what
that.
we're losing. We're losing
We are.
double A, and double A is
Horror has a grasp
Horror
on
has-
double
yeah,
A.
Yeah. Or maybe like A plus. It's like somewhere
Yeah.
between A and double A budget wise.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I miss those. Like,
Same.
and I think that's like it's smart filmmaking. Like, it's smart money. Like, that's why Blumhouse makes a bunch of money, is like, even a movie that quote unquote doesn't do well usually still breaks even because the budget wasn't crazy. Beto's Burrito says, I am always skeptical of any gatekeeping. Sure, big budget superhero movies can often feel corporate and soulless, but there's a lot of awards bait art house movies that are indulgent and pretentious. Emotionally resonant and challenging filmmaking can exist in any genre. Favorite Scorsese, Age of Innocence. Favorite superhero, Incredibles. Ooh, Incredibles is great.
Nice.
Age of Innocence, great author, Edith Wharton. Yeah. I recommend reading
Love that
House of
movie.
Mirth which is another book by the author who wrote Age of Innocence. So if you like Age of
Okay.
Innocence, also explore that author. She's
Sick.
incredible. She's a genius.
I think this is a great point, and like to me, the more egregious offender isn't superhero movies.
Capitalism.
It's capitalism always, but like it's Oscar bait movies, like The Blind Side, like The Help.
Oh,
Like-
you went right for The Blind Side. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
no,
that
but like
movie.
or like Traffic, like that kind of
Traffic. Yes. Fuck
that kind of
movie.
shit is offensive to me, where it's like, hey, we're gonna pick an issue, often an entire race of people, to be an
Yeah,
issue.
often a race of people.
Yeah, and like we're
Turn
going
them
to
into an issue.
emotionally weaponize that and then campaign for Oscars. You know, like that to
Jesus,
me,
yeah.
that to me is more insidious, perhaps, than just making a superhero movie to try to make money, because it's like it's brazen capitalism, and I don't love that either.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not hiding it, whereas an Oscar bait movie is masquerading as thoughtful when it's really schlock.
Yeah, and it's all about from the top down, right? Like we know Zaslav, Warner Brothers is sketch,
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah.
Canceling shit here and there. At least with the MCU, as far as we know, in the year of our Lord 2025, Kevin Feige is a passionate person about this stuff. Like he wants to make good superhero entertainment for us.
Yeah.
So I like
The worst thing I've heard
A
about
little bit of
Feige
context
is that he's
is
incredibly
key.
overworked
yeah.
and
It's
hard
just
to
like take a
get
day off.
nailed down.
I think like what's happening is like they're almost like, I hate to use this 'cause it's such a dumb phrase for people like me to use, but like Marvel's catching strays essentially in this debate, because like what's happening is like important movies are getting shoved to the margins because you have Marvel taking up all these resources because people love them, and you have the Oscar-batory movies taking them up because like the studios are like,
Oscar-batory?
okay, we have like a couple fucking extra $1 million left on the side here, you guys can have that, and then there isn't any more money left over. And another thing that Scorsese said in his essay was that
What says he?
yeah, what says he? He says is that one of the biggest dangers here is that you have the people who own the big catalog of historical classic films now, and the means to produce potentially new classic films. They have no care or regard for preserving them or making new ones. So it's like a double weapon of being able to like hold on to those but not giving a shit about them. They can delete them at will and have no interest in making new ones. And so it's not necessarily Marvel specifically that is the problem. It's more like the monster that's galloping, that's been
commercial
let out of
apparatus.
the gate. And like
Definitely.
yeah,
But like you said, catching strays, like it's not all. It's like not all their fault. It's also like
it's a situation.
yeah.
Well, it's like this is such a huge, like we're getting into an even more and more broad issues, but like the issue here to me is like, yeah, really it's between auteurs or like creative intent and capitalist intent. That's the real battle here. And like obviously I'm always gonna favor creative intent, even if I don't like a thing. I prefer like give me 50 billion Hereditaries for every one Blind Side. Like even if I don't love everything about Hereditary, it's like I'm gonna defend to the death its right to exist, and like especially with the rise of AI and like but none of this is new. It's just like the beast just keeps changing. It's always been focus groups and capital interests, driving most of this. Like honestly, like the way the capitalist engine operates, I almost treat any thoughtful, artistic thing that gets a commercial release as like the greatest achievement of mankind, where I'm just like, how did this fucking happen? Like,
oh yeah, behind the scenes, in front of the camera, like miracles happen when great movies somehow get in our hands and we're able to view them.
Yeah. It's a miracle every time.
That's how I feel about
happens.
Scorsese's last 3 movies. Even though it's Scorsese, he can release whatever he wants. Just like he
still has to work for it.
He's
still
uncompromising in his like his last 3 movies have fucking failed, and I think they're all 10 out of 10s easily. Silence, Irishman, Killer of the Flower Moon.
Yeah, I haven't seen.
So underrated.
The last Scorsese movie I saw was Hugo.
It's been a while.
I haven't seen
better
Wolf of
than
Wall
Hugo,
Street, Silence, Irishman, or Killers of the Flower Moon because I'm not interested.
Killers of the Flower Moon, you would have.
Killers
you
of the Flower Moon, I would.
Oh yeah, I've seen Killers of the Flower Moon.
That's the one I'm interested in.
You would love it.
It's such a big, complicated movie that I think it's impossible not to take some issues with it. But it's a good thing that it exists. It's a very good thing that it exists, and it's worth seeing. Absolutely.
I'm also just like, and like, I've written a Western, and like, trying to be sensitive to a culture outside your own is like a really hard thing to do. And I don't think that, just because someone is white, they should only write what they know. Like, I do think like consult, talk to other people, get other experiences, because that's how you get diverse characters in your stories, obviously. But like Killers of the Flower Moon was like an interesting one to me where I was like, and I think he did consult, right, with a lot of people.
So
it's like pretty accurate. Okay,
he
that's
did,
good.
and there were debates on both sides of that, where people who were represented, some felt that it would have been much more amazing if they could have directed it. But
who is that person, though? Who is the person that's going to do it? Who is the person that's going to write it? This is always such a controversial take that I feel like I'm on the opposing side of, where it's like only these people can make the movie about these people, when it's like, why are we limiting?
That's the thing. They were more saying that, like, it would be amazing if we lived in a world where they had access to those budgets to be able to tell those stories. The way Reservation Dogs is incredible.
Yeah. Great comparison.
So I think they said that, like, given all this, that there were some great things about the movie existing, so they had compliments and some criticisms for it, which is inevitable. If you see like a brutal story about your people being told, you're gonna have some thoughts. It's inevitable.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
it's
like,
worth saying.
To reiterate, the complaint that with that stuff, Huber, is always like, it's less about like, how dare you tell this story, Martin Scorsese. It's more like, the systemic racism and centuries-long oppression of modern society and capitalism has led us to a reality where white guy gets more options than indigenous woman to tell a story. Like the power dynamic is just not fair.
Sucks, but like, he's making the movie.
I think they were saying don't not make it. Right, they were like, in addition to him making, please, it's more like movies, let us make them also. Like, even when I'm talking about Poor Things or Suspiria remake, like I was doing before, where it's like, in my head, I'm like, okay, this would be, I would love to have seen a version of reality where a woman made this, because it's about women. It's not implicit in that statement saying, I wish this movie hadn't been made. Like, I'm glad it was. It's just kind of an interesting thing to keep in the back of your mind. Why is this person telling this story? I hope that they had the thoughts and opinions of the people they're telling stories about while they were telling them.
Totally. I think I get bummed out. I get bummed out when like the creator takes the heat and the strays for it, instead of like society and the system at large. Like, welcome aboard, my friend. Like, you shouldn't have dressed like that. Like, it's just, the system is
inevitable in the conversation. But I do think it's an important movie. It's a hard watch, that's for sure. But Lily Gladstone, that's her name, the main actor in
she's
it.
great.
Yeah, she does a wonderful job in it. She's really good.
I'm ready for her to be in more shit.
She's in a decent number of stuff too, and she's LGBTQ if I'm not mistaken, which is pretty
Love
sick. Fede.
Hey.
Who's this Martin guy, and what has he done to make these kinds of statements about the industry?
Oh my God.
In all seriousness,
where do we start?
Scorsese does have a point, but only superficially. Superhero movies are roller coaster rides in the same way most Scorsese films are just crime dramas. Others have expanded more on that idea, so I'll stay short with that. My favorite Scorsese, I think, would be Gangs of New York. Wow.
Fuck
But
yes.
The Departed and Casino are also top tier. My favorite
Daniel Day-Lewis
superhero
is good in
movies-
there.
Yeah. My favorite superhero movie has become Into the Spider-Verse in recent years because it just
Nice.
nails what I love about my favorite American superhero. I do love Into the
Yeah.
Spider-Verse. And that's a great story about emotion and human experience
is.
and nuance and like
So right.
I think it handles like intersectionality, pretty well. Like, I don't know.
Oh, you're so
Superhero
right.
movies
That
are
is
sick, man. They're all
10
good.
out of
Everything
10.
is good.
Yup.
Movies
Yeah.
are good.
And I had a friend who's got, both black and Mexican heritage, and her kids were just so excited
Yes.
to see that superhero.
Yes.
And they seeing
Representation
pictures of
matters.
them flipping out on Instagram, and it was so touching and moving. And I was like, God, this is fucking great that this movie existed.
Yeah.
Please pour millions of dollars into shit like this. I take it back. Can you partial Thanos hand wipe out most, but then save a
that's-
couple?
There are many aspects about modern society that are fucking abysmal, right? Like America's a shit fire right now. But strides have been made for people being able to see themselves on screen more and more in modern mainstream movies. Yeah, you'll see a biracial superhero. You'll see a gay character in a big film, and it's just like a normal thing. Like Sophia, my wife, is mixed race, and she would always say as a kid, Pocahontas was kind of looked like her, a completely different cultural background, but she was I can relate to that to an extent, but it's now there are characters that are literally from her background that she can look to, and as a child, that stuff is huge. To be able to see yourself represented in something is so powerful. And to kind of circle back again, Huber, to the previous comment where it's
Yeah.
Where the default is white guy.
Yeah.
People don't think about that because they've always seen themselves represented, And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that now we are in a place where superhero movies are showing that representation as well as,
Yeah.
more auteur movies.
That's why I think it's a responsibility too, Scorsese making movies about this shit. Obviously in a perfect world, the Osage people would make Killers of the Flower Moon, of course, but Scorsese has the power, and for him to want to tell this story to the masses, how many people are seeing movies all the time? It's James Cameron core of let's try to reach as many people as possible with this heartfelt good message. So
Yeah, I guess if
I
he
really
has
just
the-
appreciate that. I'm always good faith on that.
If
I'll
he
take
has
the
the
good faith way-
resources, as opposed to
Yeah.
now I'm telling the Atlantic City gangster story or
Exactly.
something. Yeah. No, that
The
makes
fact that
sense.
he
Yeah.
did it, I think,
I think the people who were having critiques also made their critiques in good faith. At least most of them. The ones I were reading online were critics from those indigenous groups of people who were I like what he did here, and I like what he did here.
Well, a
I
little
wish
bit of
we were.
this.
No, yeah, I wish we were able to do this, and I wish we lived in a world where we had resources to do this. And
Totally.
they were where in the world would they give $200 million to us? So I don't think I understand where you've probably read meaner spirited things from probably some random, poster
Some
or something
random
like
shit.
that. Yeah, online. But I've read ones that were, obviously in good faith too,
good.
the same way he made the film in good faith.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of good conversation out there happening about the film
Totally.
also, even if some of it are, coming from because film is it's like a conversation.
It is,
He put
it
his
is.
thing out there, then,
Let's
some people,
discuss.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Fede continues. My something else this week is just a discussion starter in case you want to get into it. We're deep. We're deep in right now. In the last episode, you were talking about how the reaction for Superman's trailer was mixed. Well, it was actually the most watched trailer not only in DC's history, but in Warner's history. You also mentioned how it may easily make $1 billion because that's how much these movies make. Well, the reality is that only 2 DC movies have made $1 billion in the last 10 years, Aquaman and Joker. And only 2 superhero films have made more than $1 billion since 2020, Spider-Man Far From Home and Deadpool and Wolverine. My discussion starter is, why do you think there's sometimes that disconnect between the perception and the reality of a situation? That's a big topic.
Well, the amount of views in the box office has nothing to do with people's takes about the movie.
Yeah.
Like Avatar gets made $3 billion and it's like extremely divisive. So I don't think there's like a direct connection of like, this has the most views versus the quality of it, like people's takes about it. That was the question, right? Of like, why?
Yeah.
Why does it have so many views if we thought the reaction was mixed? You can
Regular
have a shitload of
people-
views and the reaction can be mixed, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, regular people oddly don't live on the internet quite as much as we'd expect.
Yeah.
Like it's like the way elections turn out so surprisingly different when your corner of the internet is like, oh, I thought we were all gonna vote for this
Yep.
person,
Yep.
or I thought Bernie was gonna win, or whatever you thought was gonna happen in one particular moment. Yeah.
Turns out people don't generally just go like, oh yeah, I'm going to vote for this fascist in a poll. They just go and do it.
Yeah. They low key go do it.
But like, yeah, and also like the higher numbers the thing has, the larger the angry vocal minority will be.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about on the podcast the other day, it's like of the 100% of people that engage with the thing, only 10% bother commenting. And of that 10%, 60% are assholes. So loud assholes. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's like 10%, but they're louder than 100% of the people,
Yeah.
And yeah, not a lot of these print a bill, maybe, but like,
I mean, even like
what I meant
you
more
say
is just like they make a fuckload of money. Like
Yeah,
Superman
600,
made
700,
$522 million worldwide, and it's like that definitely
Same
made
shit.
money.
yeah.
So it's
same
like,
shit.
If I made $522 million, I'd be pretty fucking jazzed about it.
Yeah.
That's more,
And
I said a
It's
bill
not
just
even
comes
done.
shorthand.
It's not even done making money.
I'm actually I think that this Superman movie deserves to hit $1 billion over Aquaman or Joker, certainly.
Oh yeah.
As far as the DC movies go, but yeah.
I can't believe Aquaman made a bill. Holy shit, I
That's
like that
a little
movie too.
surprising to me, yeah.
First one, I guess, and it was like peak
yeah.
superhero time.
Yeah. Hey Man Nice Shot says, hey gang. To dive right in, of course Scorsese has a point. Superhero movies are often more like theme parks, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's also nothing new. Good old Marty has made better movies overall and was responsible for some absolute classics and genre-defining pictures. Having said that, some of the ones in his oeuvre I personally enjoy the most might not be his objective top tier. I personally can never get enough of Wolf of Wall Street, Departed, Cape Fear, or Bringing Out the Dead. Dude, fucking Bringing Out the Dead, dude.
10 out of 10.
That movie, I've talked about this I think before, but I've never had an experience like I had with Bringing Out the Dead. My friend and I watched it, I think twice in a row, or maybe like once and then a couple of days later. And one time we watched it, we were like laughing. We thought it was a comedy, and enjoyed it for that. But then the next time we watched it, we were like, this is the most devastating movie I've ever seen. And it was like, both worked. Like it worked either way, weirdly. I mean, I haven't watched it again since, but like That movie is crazy. And so ultimately there's a time and place, and more importantly, an audience for everything. When you've had a rough work week and your head feels like it's been beaten but to a pulp by a hammer, I have no desire whatsoever to watch a beautiful and intense 3.5-hour epic of that is Killers of the Flower Moon. But in that state of mind, show me Guardians of the Galaxy with some upbeat music, accessible pace, tons of jokes, and exciting action scenes, and I'll be smiling all the way through. That's why we have both art galleries and theme parks. Sometimes I want to see a beautiful piece and contemplate the dreadful nature of the human condition. Sometimes I want to be in a roller coaster and scream because it makes my tummy flutter. Of course, there's also things that bridge the gap. I absolutely adored The Batman, one of my favorite movies of the past few years, and a superhero movie that was a lot closer to Seven than to Batman Forever. Yeah, good point. Well, its spin-off, The Penguin, was really just a soft Sopranos remake in 2024, which is not a bad thing. Yeah, the Penguin is a Scorsese movie.
Seriously.
Side note, I was recently just comparing the movies to theme parks with these 4DX or ScreenX options they have now, i.e. moving chairs with wind and water effects, or the more immersive wraparound screens. Sure, it's not the essence of cinema, and it's pretty cheesy, but sometimes that can also be kind of fun. I wouldn't watch Schindler's List in 4DX, God. But for a Spider-Man movie, why the hell not? I'll add my own quick little anything else. Recently saw the Day of the Jackal. That was the thing I was forgetting.
Yeah.
I finished Day of the Jackal.
Nice.
It's fucking so good, dude.
It's so good.
Woo!
That's great to hear. Yeah, I still need to see that.
That show is great.
So good.
Yeah.
It's a good show. And Shining Girls. I also liked Shining Girls. Both of your recommendations here. Really loved the former and definitely also liked the latter. Yeah, Shining Girls was like, okay. Also, Life of Chuck made me cry in the theater, which had been a really long time. Take care, LNR. Yeah, I haven't
I saw
seen
Materialist
Life of Chuck.
instead of Life of Chuck, and I fucking want to see it. It was out of the theater in like 2 fucking weeks.
I like,
Duh.
that's, what's his name, right? The,
Flanagan.
Flanagan, yeah.
Yeah.
That all I know about that is that it's really sad. And I'm like,
sure.
I don't need it. Zach Wojnar says, superhero movies at their best can be a capital C cinema. Adam West's Batman and Robert Pattinson's Batman are two very different characters, but they're also both faithful to Batman. Since the character is so versatile and ripe for varied interpretation, Adam West and Robert Pattinson are equally valid Batman actors. I agree. In part because there is so much room to play around with the idea of Batman. That's why superhero fatigue can be avoided forever as long as the studios don't get lazy and complacent. At its worst, it's very easy to see the superhero formula being used just with the characters swapped out, which makes some of the movies, even some of the really fun ones, feel disposable like a product made on an assembly line. Likewise, Casino and Goodfellas and The Irishman are 3-hour gangster epics starring Robert De Niro, but they're different enough that they don't feel derivative or overly similar. It's all down to each movie, be they Scorsese or superhero, to make the case to justify its existence. Yeah. I don't believe in the tally them up part because art isn't a competition. Artists aren't jocks. Jocks beat us up. But we make music or poems or movies so that we can seduce the jocks' moms, sisters, or girlfriends, or male or gender non-conforming equivalent, while they're busy throwing a sports ball around the field or whatever it is the jocks do.
That took a really weird turn at the end. I was like, yeah, I'm bored. Huh? Where do we go?
At the end of the day, art is all about banging your enemy's moms, sisters, or girlfriends. Okay. Also, Superman is a...
Join Patreon so you can have weird comments like that. Right on.
I mean, obviously he's kidding around, but also Superman is a masterpiece, and I've seen it 3 times already. The last time I saw a movie multiple times in theaters was Elvis back in 2022. I'm just a huge James Gunn fan, and I'm also glad he's the big boss over at DC. Everything he does is a 10 out of 10, from Guardians of the Galaxy to the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and Creature Commandos. Yeah, I liked Creature Commandos. And I'm all in on whatever he's cooking next. As for the old days of the DCEU, I'll say this: Batman v Superman is absolute garbage, but Zack Snyder's Justice League is 10 out of 10. It's a movie that really shouldn't exist, but I'm glad it does.
The 4-hour one?
Zack Snyder's version.
Yeah. That was a lot better.
The 4x3
actually,
one.
Yeah.
It was better. I wouldn't go 10 out of 10 maybe for that one personally.
Yeah, even me. I don't know if I'd go 10 out of 10, but I did really like it for sure. Crazy how a different editing process.
Oh my
you know
God,
what I mean?
yeah.
How just different the exact same movie can be.
It's funny because I've
Nuts.
seen, I had
Not the
colloquially,
exact same, obviously it's 2 hours longer, but you know what I'm saying.
right. Colloquially, I had talked to a few people who have like sort of worked with James Gunn before, and like they had kind of said like he's kind of my way or the highway, sort of a bit of a intense guy, you know. Which I was like, you know, like that is disappointing. But then like in the PR rounds for Superman, I saw an interview with James Gunn saying like, yeah, I've been an asshole kind of sometimes on set, and like I came up in the 90s where like everyone yelled at each other and that's just what you did, and like it took me a long time to like shake out of that and realize like you don't have to do that, or like people have told him like, James, people are listening to you, you don't have to
yell.
hoot and holler, you know. And so, you know, I definitely am glad that he was saying that, because I certainly believe in people's capacity to grow and change. I was happy to hear him say that, you know, because, like, I don't know. I don't want people to be mean. Carl Williams, I'm a fan of the MCU, seen every MCU movie that has come out so far, including Fantastic Four: The First Steps. And I always thought Marty was right on the money with the theme park analogy. That's what the MCU could be considered in a nutshell. Hop on a thrill ride, and depending on how you feel at the end, go on the ride again or try out another thrill ride. Rinse and repeat until you've had enough. Now, as years have passed since that comment, I now equate superhero movies in general, both MCU and DCU, to something more simple than theme parks. Slop! To be more specific, pig slop. If that's too much for you, maybe junk food will suffice.
Let us know what you really think.
Yeah, something that is to be consumed by the masses over and over and over again until you've had your fill, which may never happen. Some had their fill once Endgame came and went. Others, like myself, continue to gobble up the next entry in the MCU, hoping to satisfy until the next film comes out and waiting patiently for more heroes to make their appearances.
It was like the Sickos comic, looking through the window.
I love, you know, I love the idea of embracing the slop, you know?
You embrace it. Yeah.
You can embrace it. Like, you don't have to be better than something. Something can just exist, and you can engage with it or not. And it's not a moral, you know, you don't have to come down on a moral line to watch a movie or not. Usually.
Totally. I think I get a little sad with the current state of superhero movies because they are way more, and Fantastic Four, that's why I actually really liked it. Because it didn't do this. I feel like they're just so much more concerned with setting up the next and the next and this and this. You're in the seat now, but really you're just waiting to see what you're going to see next. The mentality of just the standalone nature of these movies, I feel like has diminished significantly in the past 5 years.
I mean, that's what...
Excluding a couple outliers, obviously, like, you know, somebody mentioned Spider-Verse. That feels like a self-contained trilogy story.
Yeah.
But just this massive 50-movie thing, it's really hard to tell, like, a singular story anymore. I feel like that's going away.
Yeah, that's what I appreciated about Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, and on the DC side, Superman. Like they all did
finally going the other way.
Well, they all did it the older way, like the Iron Man 1 way, or like whatever, where it's like there's a little sting that sets up the next thing, but the whole movie is on its own, which I prefer that. Like, tell me a character about stories, and then give me a hook at the end.
Yeah.
For the next thing, sure. Like, great, love it. Like, yeah, I don't mind a little button to be like, oh, what's coming, you know? But like, the whole movie shouldn't just be unless it is like called a part 1 or something.
Yeah.
Like Infinity War. I'm like, this is part 1.
Part 1 for sure.
Like,
for
it
sure.
Makes sense. Let me see where we're. Carl's favorite superhero film is Dark Knight. And the favorite Scorsese picture is Taxi Driver. More than anything, fascinated and flabbergasted with how New York City in the 70s could have been so grimy and seedy. Times have certainly changed. Have they?
That one documentary, oh my God, the like New York Times Square killer in the 70s. It actually is an incredible true crime documentary about the state of New York City in the 70s. Fucking dark.
It's crazy.
Whoa. Yeah.
I would say the grime has just polished itself and moved.
It's still there. It just
moved
has a
up the
veneer.
skyscrapers. Yeah, it's in the penthouse instead of the alley. Well, doing this with a sore throat at the end of a sore throat.
Oh.
Codalito
At the
says, yeah. I mean, I feel fine right now. Codalito says, I think that Scorsese's remark about Marvel movies both has a valid and wildly misses the mark at the same time. Is it true that Marvel movies have become formulaic vehicles of bombast? Vehicles of bombast. That's a punk band.
It is.
With the sole purpose of maximizing box office numbers? Absolutely. Does that mean that all Marvel or superhero movies are devoid of artistic ambition? Absolutely not. The analogy to a theme park is good, but that does not mean that they can't convey human emotions. Yeah. In fact, I would argue that genre movies in general excel at distilling emotion down to its purest form. Superhero movies are modern-day fables, and just like fables, they go straight to the point without getting bogged down in the nuance of real life. For better and for worse. Yeah, they're tall tales, yeah. They make us cheer when the heroes turn the tables on the villains, or they cry when beloved characters die. What Scorsese fails to address is just like with minimalism, making a good fable-type story is hard, and many superhero movies have fallen into the risk-averse formula that mostly just iterate on themselves. But mostly the problem is that, much like the live service games, they suck all the air out of the industry. The irony here is that one of my favorite movies in all of his, Gangs of New York, is an example of a good fable-type movie that actually has a lot more in common with the superhero genre than I think he would like to admit. I mean, I think that's maybe one of his most commercial... That and Departed are like his biggest, maybe, commercial movies, right? I don't know.
Live service games. Wow. Live service games is such a good analogy.
Yeah.
Sucking the air out of
MCU's
the room and
live
resources.
service.
It really is. That is fucking the best.
That really
fucking
is
take
such a
I've
good
heard.
analogy. And
Holy
like
shit.
and the art gallery versus the theme parks is also good.
Yeah.
But it's as if theme parks were kind of tearing down the art galleries, and sometimes in many cases like, oh, this old art, let's just throw this in the dumpster behind the art gallery as we tear it down. So in some cases, I think when you're comparing art gallery versus theme park, yes. Sometimes Marvel movies are much better than a theme park and totally should exist. It's when there's the destroying effect. I think that's where I start to get worried, and I think where Martin Scorsese maybe inelegantly expressed his worry and did not give Marvel its fair shake. It's about the destruction of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
That's the concern. Yeah.
Well, there's an interesting analog here with literal theme parks. I was watching a video the other day talking about how, I think they kind of jokingly said like how millennials killed roller coasters, but like there's been a shift away from thrill, like high energy, high octane thrill rides in theme parks toward more family friendly rides. Even like the big roller coasters, often let younger and younger people on them because they want to include the entire family. They don't want, grandma and 3-year-olds sitting off to the side watching. They want everyone to be able to engage because to create memories together, blah, blah, blah. And so like, that's kind of an interesting...
blah, blah, blah. Create memories together.
But like, that's an interesting kind of parallel where it's like to movies where it's like, they want it to be 4-quadrant. They want the thrill rides to hit everybody, because it makes more money.
Avatar.
And they're more, I think Avatar is more thrill ride than MCU often. Also, the Avatar ride
I think the message
in
of
Disney
Avatar
World
is far better than
fucking
any
great.
MCU message ever. That's my hot take.
Sure.
Save the environment. Fuck genocide.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Big yeah.
There we go. Reaction shots motto.
It is the
Fuck
stance of
genocide,
reaction
save the
shots.
environment. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I actually
can all get behind
rewatched Way of Water since in the first time in 3 years the other day.
Oh, wow.
And it is even better than I remember. It is actually better than 1. That's another of my Avatar hot takes.
Yeah, we can definitively say that our stance here on reaction shots is firmly pro-environment, anti-genocide.
Yes.
Pretty confident, comfortable saying that
Yeah.
for sure. Where the
And
fuck?
Superman's was also.
Superman. Oh my
Yeah.
god, dude, we didn't
Yeah,
even
that
talk.
whole plot line.
We didn't even talk about how fucking a mainstream DC movie, spoilers, just talked about Israel Gaza, like straight up,
Straight up.
and like was on Gaza's side.
Straight.
Like, was pro-Palestine.
Those movies that are in production for a while, a movie that big. So it's taken, like people are usually kind of like panicked about taking a stance like that. Some people still are like, I'm not sure. I'm nervous if I'll face repercussions for saying this. So good on them. You know what I mean? For
To me,
coming out and saying that.
the idea that human society has gone in such a way that speaking out against apartheid and genocide might be construed as bad is very strange.
It's
Yeah.
been that way for a while. I mean, the Rwandan genocide. I
Yeah.
mean, who was that? Was it Bill Clinton was he president during the Rwandan genocide? I think so. I mean, they were like hemming and hawing over whether or not to
Because of
call it
capital.
that.
Like
Yeah. So
America's, financial interest in Israel. Whatever.
Anyway.
This is not a political podcast.
yeah.
And I
anyway,
don't-
so
I don't-
Superman. Yeah.
I don't tend to talk about this
Avatar.
stuff online because my wife is an immigrant and we're in a fascist dictatorship. So I don't.
But our patrons are 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Y'all are chill.
What a big episode.
Yeah, we're
Heavy themes.
getting into this.
Heavy themes.
Thanks, Marty.
Yeah. Fuck God.
Did you just say fuck God?
I mean, yeah, I did. It is the stance of reaction shot. No. And I think this is Codolino continuing. And I think there's an argument to be made for Taxi Driver's influence on the Dark Knight version of Batman. Oh, for sure. And all of the other vengeance hero type comics that came out in the 80s. Oh, yeah, big yeah. In Swedish, we have a word Verschoid. I know how to maybe say that in Norwegian, but not in Swedish. Verkshod. Yeah. Maybe. That roughly translates to work's height. That it is a noun describing a piece of work's originality and artistic merits. I think that Scorsese, and all of us really would like to see more Verkshod. I don't know how to say the J in the middle of a word. And Norwegian doesn't have an umlaut like that. Anyway, in general, and maybe we need a new cinema movement just like the one Scorsese himself was a part of in the 70s to get us out of this rut. Classic Anime of the Month is another anthology, Neo Tokyo from 1987. It features short films of three giants of anime, Rintaro, X, Metropolis, Katsuro Otomo, Akira, and Yoshiaki Kawajiri, Ninja Scroll, and Wicked City. They are all great, but I would like to highlight Kawajiri's The Running Man, which asks the question, what if F-Zero, but with telekinetic powers? Stay cool, love and respect. Yeah, fuck yeah. Colin Luton says, I think Martin Scorsese is old enough and successful enough that he gets to come up with his own definitions for words like cinema. Honestly, the backlash to this statement was so annoying at the time. Just let this old man yell at his cloud. He's earned it. It was also part of this trend in interviews. Yeah, I don't understand why people would get mad about someone saying something like this. Like, I take everything with a grain of salt anyway. Yeah, humanity has zero chill, by the way. Like,
no chill.
I watched, speaking of salt, I watched
You just
a
said
video.
fuck God, though. Humanity has no chill.
Humanity has no chill, man. I watched a video. The video I saw was like 8 people just watching this woman say this, but she was saying how to make your salt taste better, and she took salt from the big salt thing and then added a pinch of table salt to the salt, and then she's like, and then you let that kind of just mix, and what that's going to do is make your salt taste better. And I'm just like, we're cooked. Humanity, like, the majority of people are morons. And that's how we got into this situation. Because fucking Christ, that is deeply stupid. And like, I think that every time I drive by somebody and they're using their phone while they're driving, I'm just like, you are a menace to society, and humanity deserves its hell that it has created. Reaction shots.
And I feel like Scorsese dips into themes like that, meaningful ass fucking themes of human beings. Whereas like, can anybody actually tell me the themes of the Infinity Saga? Like, what themes are we even talking about? Like warmongering, maybe. Like surveillance state, maybe. Like
friendship.
What are like the actual resonant themes? So I think too, like
sacrifice and friendship.
I remember getting mad at the argument too because I love absolute both. I love my popcorn fucking MCU thrill ride, and I love my deep I'm gonna cry and think about existential dread and my own existence in this world Scorsese movies. So I just, when people were like getting so crazy at him and trying to say that like the MCU is like smart art and but they were twisting it in a way to just be like, yo, know what it is and accept that. Like they both can be good, but don't try to say that it's like a better like.
Well, and also, like,
it's just so complicated. Yeah.
Ethan Hawke's take, where it's like, you got to stop giving Marvel movies 5 stars on Letterboxd or whatever. Like, to me, it's like, they're not trying to be the same thing. I can rate a Marvel movie, you know, I can rate
5 out of 5 for what it is.
5 out of 5 for what it was trying to be.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, will it hit the same heights of artistry and depth as something else? Perhaps not, but it's not trying to, because it has to make money.
After watching Fanny and Alexander, I'm giving everything 1 star until further notice.
But that's the crux of reviewing, right? Is like there is no good system, because if you did have an absolute system, everything would get a 2, because there are only like 5 works in human history that approach perfection, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like, that's why the good, fine, bad system is the only good review system.
Good, fine,
bad. Almost everything is fine.
Almost everything is fine. Good, fine, bad is the best.
Rarely things are good, and sometimes things are bad, but almost always things are fine. Good, fine, bad system.
I like Conan's system, where the Clueless Gamer, where it's completely arbitrary. He makes up these very weird definitions at the end of every Clueless Gamer.
Colin Luton goes on to say, it was also part of this trend in interviews to ask serious filmmakers and actors what they think of the MCU, and then write inflammatory clickbait headlines about whatever they said. I think that's an important part of this too.
Huge.
Is that context.
Scorsese didn't bring it up. They just asked him in an interview.
They trapped him,
and all of a sudden, they trap his ass for sure.
There's this, not to say that, you know, obviously journalists are good and they're not trying to trick you most of the time, but like clickbait is a thing. There's a culture war of validation that was happening between superhero movie fans and superhero movie haters online, and every time a celebrity was forced to answer one of these questions, it became a volley at one camp or the other. I wish people were better at recognizing when forces are pulling levers like this to upset and divide us for profit or other gain. Maybe the world wouldn't be in the state that it is, but we keep falling for the same old tricks.
Whoops. Whoops. Sorry.
P.S. Martin Scorsese has said he had nothing to do with the making of Joker, even though his name was all over the marketing for that movie. At most, they mailed him a test screening copy that he never watched.
That's very funny.
Well, it's because of King of Comedy.
I mean, it's literally just...
But that's almost insulting, because King of Comedy is such a morally compassionate, heartfelt movie. It really is. And I mean, say what you want about Joker, good or bad, it's not a warm movie at all. No. It's a very cold movie.
And it owes a lot to
you could say you could say it's good or bad, and I'll stay out of that because that's a bigger subject. But like, it's not a warm movie, and I don't think it really...
uncomfortable.
So it's so interesting, the comparison. I mean, King of Comedy is my second favorite Scorsese movie. It's so good. I'm at least glad it brought attention It's a good comedy. I imagine more people saw it. Hopefully, I hope they did as a result of Joker.
One assumes.
Yeah.
One assumes.
All right, we got 4
But
left.
never assume.
4 left, and this is maybe our longest episode to date, which is great. But I'm going to bang through these, and then we'll choose a winner. Mark Hallinan, when Martin Scorsese made these the comments in question, which I think was around 2019, if I'm not mistaken, I found them a little reductive and maybe even a little mean-spirited, but he grew up on mean streets, man. But I have to be honest, it's ringing more and more true the further we go on with the Marvel project. Sorry for bumping my desk. The MCU has come in for a fair bit of kicking post-Endgame, but it's easy to forget how incredible it was to experience that 11-year, 22-film journey, which I am truly grateful to have been a viewer of. Being part of that initial run was nothing short of magical, and I think Marvel Studios deserve great praise for what they achieved. But clearly, it's been a struggle to start any meaningful sort of follow-on to the Infinity Stone saga, partly because I think the majority of people felt it was such a natural creative endpoint expect people to just roll right on into the next big saga almost straight away was a huge risk, a huge ask, regardless of any external events which may have occurred. As someone who was completely in on the MCU until probably Quantumania, that was a bad one, I really hope they get back into focusing on the characters and the individual films as opposed to making everything build up and set up for the things that may never amount to anything. Hello, the Eternals, or whatever Emilia Clarke's character became in Secret Invasion. And I would also strongly urge them to stop telling us so much ahead of time, yes, such as with the plan for the next 3 to 5 years, when the X-Men may be coming, and incredibly, when the whole universe reboot, or reset as they put it, is happening. Please stop this. It's exhausting and takes so much of the mystery away.
It's the engagement, though, is too much. It's just so much engagement all the time. They're like fucking masters of this, dude. They come out with Fantastic Four. They give it a couple weeks. Okay. The conversation has died down significantly. What did they announce an hour ago? I don't know if either of you saw this. 1 hour ago, Mark Ruffalo in the new Spider-Man movie.
Oh, really?
Now everyone's going to talk about that for the next couple weeks. Then there's going to be another fucking announcement, and then a fucking trailer for something, and then an animated spin-off, and then this, and then that. And then it's just like ending.
I do think it's silly when they give away things that are like actual plot points. Like, especially when it's like, oh, Secret War is coming. So it's like, all right, then I guess we're getting a certain character with reality-bending properties, and I know how Mr. Doom is going to work, probably. And, like, in a way, the one thing I'll say about Secret War, I hope it just starts and most characters don't realize they're in the wrong universe. Like, that's what I'll say. I hope that it starts and everything is just weird, and the characters all act like it's normal, and then there are like 5 characters that are like, this is fucked up, you know? Like if there are a few episodes of Star Trek or Twilight Zone that are like that, where it's like, this isn't how it's supposed to be. Like that, because it'll be so boring if the first act of that movie is like how it gets to Battleworld. Anyway, whatever. Yeah,
I think things just need to end to be for me to actually think they're good now. I've like hard turned at the end of this podcast where it's like, Endgame was the fucking end, and it was the best thing. Not the best. One of, honestly, like this commenter is saying, one of the greatest achievements in cinema history, all the way back to a train rolling up to the fucking station. Straight up, over 150 years of cinema, I really do think Endgame was one of the best achievements ever. Full stop.
It was an amazing
cool project. Yeah, really cool.
And just like all the moving parts somehow coming together in a satisfying way for all of that commitment that everyone did. And it was an amazing thing. But now that you just keep going over and over and over and over, and it just keeps going on and on and on, there are no stakes anymore. Things matter significantly less, not even to mention the multiverse, but it doesn't even matter. That's neither here nor there. But I think things need to end to actually matter.
I think I agree, but also I think things need to begin properly to matter as well. Like post-Endgame, they basically they put the cart before the horse. They basically tried to jump in, like, you know, if the Endgame build-up took 11 years, right? They tried to jump in on year 9 without building it back up again. You know, they didn't realize that they basically had to do a reset.
Needed to ground it
Like
again. Yeah.
Thunderbolts should have been like
Early on,
right after
maybe,
Endgame
yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Like or a movie of that scale and size.
Yeah.
Like they should have done kind of a goofy little standalone. You know?
It is really crazy that Doomsday is like a year away. Like it feels so rushed. It feels no hype. Like obviously it's going to be hype and it'll probably be a fun ass movie, but it is really crazy that is
I mean,
like
I think
a year away. What?
the Doomsday leading into Secret Wars. I think it'll be a reset in a good way, probably, knowing generally how
Sure.
that's. I mean, it's been since I was a teenager since I read that shit, but like, you know, it can collapse all these bullshit multiverses into one thing
Yeah.
and then do an actual reboot, which I think is probably good at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But then you look 15 years ahead in the future and it's like, okay, then we're getting the mutant saga. And then here we go again. 3 more phases, 50 movies. It's like
they need to just take it one step at a time for sure.
live service.
It's a live service. I mean, it is. It literally
10 out of 10. That comment. 10 out of 10.
Mark Hallinan continues, however, having said all that, I am very excited about the news that Punisher will be co-starring in the next Spider-Man film. Didn't know that. This sort of
yeah.
character alchemy is really one of the big strengths of the MCU and shows that there is still life in the project if they focus on the right things. Sorry for the rant, but the MCU is a subject I find more fascinating now as an ongoing story about Marvel Studios than most things they've put on screen for the last 5 years, and that makes me a little sad. I have not seen Fantastic Four yet, and I'm hoping it'll bring me back. We'll see.
No.
If anyone is interested, there is a great book by Joanna Robinson called MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, which details the origin and rise of Marvel Studios as well as exploring where we are now with it. Highly recommend. Finally, back to Scorsese. I'd like to say my favorite film of his is Goodfellas, simply because I'll be watching Goodfellas for the rest of my life. It's one of the most rewatchable films ever made. IMO. Take it easy. Mike Karwai.
Which one? Sorry, I missed that last. Which
Goodfellas.
one? Goodfellas, yeah. Yep.
Mike Karwai says, there's an old interview clip of Scorsese praising Sam Raimi's Spider-Man films as he would any genre movie. I don't want to add too much to what I'm sure will have been covered, but I think his issues were fairly specific, and in general, he's way more open to escape a spectacle than some might have convinced themselves. Yeah, he was backed into a corner, obviously, and people...
Totally.
Yeah. And especially considering the man is 80-something years old and in a position of having nothing left to prove in his art form, it seems pretty reasonable to me. I don't really know about my definitive favorite superhero movie unless first act of Batman Begins counts. James Gunn, anything counts. James Gunn's Superman inspired me to get back into DC Comics. Yeah, I just bought a DC comic the other day because of that movie. And I now have a dream hot girl movie / TV show in my mind that I suspect will never get made, though. For my favorite Marty-directed motion picture, I would have to go with either Taxi Driver or Goodfellas. One of the 21st century, I think both my number one and his best films, probably Silence, which is a masterpiece that, among other things, has Liam Neeson's best effort since Schindler's List. It's also one I wish was talked about more. Maybe time will tell. Lastly, I can't lie, I'm sort of definitely hyped for Avatar 3. Please direct the rest of them, Jim.
Oh my god, dude, that fucking trailer,
That
dude.
trailer was tight. I liked it. I was into it. The fire lady looked cool.
The fucking trailer has made me reframe my entire view of that franchise and how like they are self-contained stories within this larger thing. Like he's fucking nailing it. I'm so hyped.
It looked cool, yeah. It looked really
It was
good.
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, the literal ride, the Avatar ride in Disney World, one of the best rides I've been on.
I'm so
Fucking
jealous.
Great.
I was so jealous of that.
4-hour line. You could have watched Avatar in the line and still had
That's
time.
crazy. I bet people have done that.
Oh, I guarantee it. I guarantee
Just
it. Colt Smith, I think there is room for, and beyond that, it is necessary to have both. You need to have prestige filmmaking to keep art alive and thriving, to challenge society, inevitably cause us to look inward and outward at what we can change and how we can improve. At the same time, you need the theme park films, too, to get asses in the seats, to be a spectacle, and to push tech and techniques, not to mention keep movie theaters open. That all said, I think the balance has been way off for a while, yeah. We seem to be just getting out of a slump where the only films getting made were the spectacle kind, and the more art-skewed films became less frequent and less popular in spite of the fact that the ones we got were absolutely fantastic. What has been nice has been seeing mid-budget, more artistically minded films get trailers and get some more successes in the last year or two. I mean, we're even getting weird spy movies and slow dramas and stuff in the mid-tier again. Naked Gun also coming back. Like, a lot of people are talking about, like, is this the return of comedy? Like, because mainstream comedy has kind of been dead for, I don't know, 9 years. Shout out to Bottoms, though.
I was just thinking of Bottoms. I was like, don't forget Bottoms.
Everyone really liked that Jennifer Lawrence one. I never saw that R-rated one.
I fucking hated that movie.
Oh,
that
it's
movie
terrible?
is garbage trash.
Dang.
It is so boring.
I think I
and
remember
not
you saying
funny.
that, actually.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry to that movie. Weird, mean-spirited, I don't know, whatever. I think the perfect balance period was the 90s and early 2000s. We got refer to our last episode. We got a ton of huge films with the spectacle and bombast of all that, but we were still getting a ton of Aaron Brockovich's Bricks, The Matrix. The first one was such a tiny budget. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and all that, right along with huge side of blockbusters. If we can find that balance again, we will be golden. I honestly do think that we may be entering an era where that stuff comes back, as we've said before. I think the AA, I think that balance might be reemerging, but we'll see. Duff, last one. I read it as more Scorsese calling out Marvel in particular for taking an empirical approach to storytelling, approaching filmmaking as a chain of events that need to be presented to fulfill a timeline rather than a bunch of different stories that just kind of link together because it's fun. Yeah, Marvel, for better or worse, emulates how they publish comics, which is informed by how they try to synergize their different publications with tie-ins, so the audience thinks they need to consume multiple pieces of media in order to enjoy any individual piece. That's a good point. I believe that a good piece of media that does tie in with other pieces will be able to stand alone, but will be enhanced by consuming the surrounding media. Yes. I remember reading Infinite Crisis, a big DC crossover comic that didn't realize was a sequel to Crisis on Infinite Earths, the big comic book that started this whole big crossover, Crisis crossover event nonsense in the first place. I read Crisis on Infinite Earths after its sequel and didn't learn a single new bit of information from it because Infinite Crisis kept me informed of prior events, who characters are, and what they wanted and why in diegetic ways. Yeah, you just have to catch people up within the piece, and it's in a not boring way. I guess that's why I never worried about reading/watching all the stories. If it's good, it'll tell me what I need to know. It's recreational, not homework. As for Scorsese, Gangs of New York was my favorite. There have been a lot more Gangs of New York than I expected.
Yeah, a lot of Gangs in New York love.
And I feel like I've gone insane, but does anyone else see it as a live-action anime? I could see that.
Dude,
like the
Yeah,
way,
very much so.
Oh my
Very
God,
much
yeah.
so, yeah.
like the way a lot
Bill
of
the Butcher
fights-
is such a comic book character.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he carries a giant hammer, doesn't he? Like the way a lot of the fights are cut is very reminiscent of a shonen or seinen battle manga.
Kung Fu Hustle energy, honestly.
Yeah, fully.
You're not wrong.
The opening of the movie showed all of the eccentric gang members and their unique weapons and fighting styles, and my first thought was, these are obviously the generals that our hero will have to fight one by one in his way to the final boss to avenge his father. Favorite superhero movie might be a recency bias, but Superman 2025 was great because it did the aforementioned and told me everything I needed to know within the story. Yeah, I'm shocked at how much I like that movie. It also got what I like about Superman. He doesn't fulfill the wish fulfillment of being powerful. He fulfills the wish fulfillment of being able to help everyone. That's what always makes me come back to him. Runner-up for me is Shin Kamen Rider because it's just an awesome look at another country's nostalgia and take on heroism. Yeah, that to me is what Superman is so special. Is like the Crash Test Dummies song says. He could smash any bank in the world, but he doesn't. Like, he just wants to be a nice guy. Anyways, yeah. So winner. Thank you to everyone who wrote in. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I mean, I can declare. Let's just declare our own personal winners,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because that's
Obviously
going to be
we're
easier
joking,
than.
except for Matt.
Okay, so I think just on film preservation alone, because he organizes a lot of efforts to archive and promote world cinema
Yes,
and directors around the world. I think it's got to be Iron Man. It has to be Martin Scorsese. And if you like him at all, I recommend the documentaries that he hosts. My Voyage to Italy and A Personal Journey with Martin Scorsese through American movies. I think more so than so many other things, apart from a few books, I've learned so much about movies when I was young. And some of my favorite movies came through these two documentaries where Martin Scorsese talks about his favorite movies through the past 100 years. And shows clips from the movies, and he gives context about why he fell in love with them, and he makes them sound so fascinating that you're gonna want to track them down and watch them too. He makes them sound just as exciting as any movie that's out now, and when you watch them you realize they are as exciting as any movie that's out now. And that's why Martin Scorsese has been an important director to me, and his movies, I find them that he's made are impressive, and I understand why people like him. He's a very good director, but this stuff has been very, very important to me. Him describing and working on conservation efforts, I've learned so much about film from him. These are called A Personal Journey with Martin Scorsese and My Voyage to Italy. Two separate documentaries. These will get you so excited about film. Obviously you like movies if you listen to this podcast. I can't see any world where anyone wouldn't get excited about the movies he discusses on these. You will love these. I'm sure they're on YouTube for free. So yeah, I recommend those, and Martin Scorsese wins for me. Although I love Marvel movies, I've watched most of them, and I was a skeptic before, but a skeptic doesn't mean you hate things. A skeptic means you explore and hear out things. And so I watched a lot, and I was like, oh shit, these are good. And so I watched the entire Infinity Saga and more, and they're good. They're definitely good. But yeah, Martin Scorsese and his argument in favor of classic important art films, that wins.
Also, he apparently directed the Michael Jackson music video for the song Bad, which I did not know.
I did not know that.
One of his two music videos, that and Robbie Robertson, Somewhere Down the Crazy River,
Last Waltz,
which I don't know that one. But
because he did The Last Waltz about the band documentary, one of the best musical documentaries of all time.
Also, of course, directed the pilot of Boardwalk Empire and was an EP on the whole series.
Yep, my favorite show ever made, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with Scorsese easily. Even though, if you had asked me this right after Endgame, I would have said no contest. But I feel like that everything that's come after has diminished that impact significantly for me. All of the weight and the stakes and the finality and the emotions of that have just kind of, it hasn't ruined it all. It hasn't killed it. I still love Marvel. I'm there day one every time. I've seen every show, even all the episodes. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
And I will continue to do that probably. They've got me by the balls. But there is no denying that they have negatively impacted what has come before by just the never-ending corporate cycle of content. So I am definitely going with Scorsese too, because also too, when I finish a movie or when I watch a movie, I think even more valuable than being entertained for me, and they both are, that's why we had this episode too, because they're both so different.
Yeah.
I want to think. I want to contemplate life. I want to think about the human experience and the human condition, even if it is uncomfortable and disturbing.
Yeah.
And I think Scorsese gets there while also being accessible and not in the weight of just pure depression and heaviness. That's an underrated aspect of his movies. Departed is so hardcore, but it's so fun. That's why I love it. It's horrible people doing horrible things, but also good people doing bad things, and people and it's there's so much. It's so complicated, but it just goes down easy, and it is so rewatchable. So same with Gangs of New York. Everyone's talking about that's a 3-hour heavy epic, but it is so fun. I just love how fun his movies are while also being heavy as hell. Killers of the Flower Moon, maybe not as fun as the others, but
Yeah, I mean,
They don't have the edges sanded off, that's for sure. But
Yeah.
there's a energy that propels them
yeah, his
forward.
energy is great way to put it.
it's funny because that's kind of what I was going to say in the opposite way, where it's like, if I look at just like enjoyment, like what's like what went down easier for me, obviously it's the MCU, but
Yeah.
like to me there's no comparison between these two, and like I don't think they need to be compared necessarily, and like
The internet sure did.
both
We
have
did.
done
We did it for our longest episode.
our longest episode, but like, you know, obviously the MCU has had many impacts on the cinematic landscape, most of which maybe are not positive. But at the same time, I think, you know, a lot of them are decent movies. It's sort of, I have the same opinion sort of, but like aligned differently with both of these things, where it's like most of the MCU I enjoyed, but I wouldn't call any of them my favorite movies, right? And like, I don't really, you know, I don't even think of them really as like, obviously not art house movies or whatever. Whereas similarly with Martin Scorsese, it's like, I think all of his movies that I've seen are like very well made, incredible filmmaking, but I also don't super consider, and none of them are my favorite movie. And like, he's not one of my favorite directors, like as far as like something that I think about often, you know, or like would turn to, you know, to what, like if I wanted to throw a thoughtful movie on, I wouldn't pick a Scorsese movie, but they're all great, you know, and like of the 44% of his movies that I've seen, I liked them all.
Good chunk. And you like them all, that's sick.
Yeah, I can't think of a movie of his that
That's
I
so
like
sick.
actively dislike.
That
I mean,
rules.
I didn't love The Departed.
Yeah.
But mostly that was because it was like, I think earlier movies of his deserved an Oscar more than The Departed. Like it felt like a legacy win. I'm like, give it to him for Mean
did,
Streets. Give it to him
yeah.
for fucking Taxi Driver. Give it to him for Raging Bull. Give it to him for Temptation of Christ. Give it to him for Casino or Goodfellas, you know, like, you know, but like, so it's like The Departed to me was like one of his more like populist movies, sort of.
Sure.
Which is what wins Oscars, so it's like whatever. Anyway, it's a tie.
It's a tie.
A
Pulling a Huber over here.
Yeah, a diplomat.
Huber.
Isla's a diplomat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, if I had to kill one, erase one from existence, like I guess I would have to pick the MCU. But like,
Thanos gloved it.
Yeah.
Thanos gloved it.
but yeah, I think it's a ridiculous comparison.
Do you both like Spielberg more than Scorsese?
Yeah.
No, fuck no.
Hard no.
No. I mean, no.
How about Tarantino, Matthew, or Scorsese?
That's a good question. I enjoy watching Tarantino more. I think Martin Scorsese is more serious in the sense that like I can take him more seriously as a person and a director. Yeah, I think I just don't. I have a really hard time taking Tarantino seriously.
Sure.
But I enjoy the hell out of a lot of his movies. So I enjoy watching Tarantino movies. Guilty pleasure. I know we shouldn't use that term, but Tarantino is the ultimate guilty pleasure. But yeah, I enjoy Tarantino. I don't even know if I answered your question there.
You mostly did. I would like to ask you one last question, both of you. What is your hype check?
I didn't get to answer that question.
Oh, I know you like Scorsese. You like Spielberg, then Scorsese, then Tarantino.
For me, Tarantino and Scorsese are like tied in that they're like.
Oh, okay.
I see things that I like about both of them, but I don't specifically really care about either of them. For me, the one that would really get things complicated would be Coppola, because it's like I truly love some Coppola movies. Like some of my like The Conversation is one of my favorite movies, and I fucking adore Bram Stoker's Dracula. And like to talk gangsters, like Godfather, I think is a better gangster movie than a lot of Scorsese gangster movies.
Oh, the best.
And
best.
like Apocalypse Now is one of my favorite movies. Like I love Coppola, a lot of Coppola, and then some of it is truly bad, like, which is really interesting because I don't think Scorsese has like a stinker the way Coppola does.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. And
I would like to.
I'm not sure if Spielberg has like a real outright stinker. He's also made way more.
People really hate Ready Player One.
I also hate Ready Player One. That one felt like a gun for hire, weirdly, but like, I think Spielberg has some high highs. I mean, they're all like, Spielberg is almost closer to MCU than anything, but like, I love Jurassic Park, obviously.
I love some Spielberg. Yeah. I think they're really fun.
I would like both of your
Started the whole mess, like blockbusters.
I would like both of your hype checks for One Battle After Another.
You know, because that's based on a Thomas Pynchon book.
Yeah, didn't you mention him earlier?
And I love Vineland. I love Vineland. It's one.
What
of
is your hype
books.
check for this?
I can't figure it out. I'm so puzzled by it.
Well,
I'm so puzzled by it because it looks like it's been updated to somewhat more recent times, where the book was set in the early '80s, and the book is all about that specific time period. Like that's the theme of the book. It's not just set then. It's the theme of the book. It's like it's about how hippies sold out all their ideals and turned into the FBI in the early 80s in California. So it looks like it's updating it to it looks like it's taking place current generation.
It seems fairly modern.
Yeah, and there's some new joke in it about non-binary people in the trailer, and that definitely wasn't in the book. It just wasn't a concern of the book.
And I'm like, non-binary people?
It was hard to tell because it was just went by so fast, and I was like,
I trust P.T. Anderson. I trust him.
I do generally like P.T. Anderson, although I didn't like Inherent Vice.
Yeah, me too. I don't
that's
like
also
that much.
Thomas Pynchon, right? Like,
so we'll have to see.
Let's
but
do
like,
a P.T. Anderson episode.
am I gonna see it? I'm gonna go see it in the theater.
Oh, same,
I'll go see it in the theater for sure.
September.
Shit.
Yeah.
Right. In September, we're doing a P.T. Anderson episode.
Just
next month, we're doing an American Remakes episode.
Yeah.
Hell
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Right, don't forget that. Everyone
I have to find
that.
out.
That's good. That's good.
I have 2 Thomas Pynchon tattoos, so I'm gonna go see a Thomas Pynchon movie in the theater. Well, here is my Gravity's rainbow tattoo. That's
Got
the
it.
front cover of the book. The other is on my stomach, and my cat's sitting on my lap. So I'll show it on our Paul Thomas Anderson episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right.
I'd have to stand up and kick her off. So
everybody, shut up. We're done.
we're done.
No, I loved it.
Thank
you, everybody. This was such a fucking crazy episode.
It was
2 massive things.
Thank you, Huber. Thank you, Huber, for the bonkers idea to just suddenly dredge this up for no reason.
more grudge match episodes. Grudge match episodes are.
We honed in on its beacon, dude.
I was rewatching all the MCUs like a couple months ago. So,
dude, are we hyped for Alien Earth in 12 days?
I am
very hyped
for sure.
Very, very hyped.
All right. Kisses. Check out Reaction Shots Patreon. Patreon.com/. Oh, I made little confetti.
I love that.
I did. Does it work for me?
That rules.
It's an Apple thing. I guess holding up 2 peace signs does
I just
that.
did peace signs for no reason.
Check out Patreon.com/Reaction Shots. Fireworks. All right. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mike.
I watched the first 20 minutes of Happy Gilmore 2 and I turned it off.
I didn't even. I forgot there was a Happy Gilmore 2. Is that new?
It was fine. It was like,
All right. Bye, everybody. See you next month.
Goodbye. Thank you for all the great comments. Bye.
Bye.